Stan, will you get... You want some? Can I talk? Can I turn off my light? Because I got a cop switch or... 14. I can't hear the PA announcer very well.
Is there enough of you guys down there, you ruskies, you?
Mike, just in case it's live.
Oh, look at them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The wrong end he went to.
Number 2, defenseman Alexander Gusev. Number 3, Vladimir Luchenko. Number 4, defenseman Victor Kuskin. Number 5, defenseman Valery Vasilyev. Number 6, defenseman Gennady Tsigankov. Number 7, forward, Captain Boris Mikhailov. Number 15, forward, Vyacheslav Solodukin.
According numerically, they're the...
Number 9, forward, Alexander Volchkov.
Confusing the way they do.
Number 10, forward, Victor Kukarigin. Number 11, forward, Boris Alexandrov. Number 8, forward, Alexander Maltsev. Number 13, defenseman Alexei Volchenkov. Number 14, forward Vladimir Popov. Number 18, forward Vladimir Vikukov. Number 21, defenseman Sergei Glaskov. Number 22, forward Victor Shlukov. Number 23, forward Alexander Labanov. Number 17, forward Valery Halamov. And number 20, goalie Vyacheslav Tretiak. And the head coach, Konstantin Loktev.
He's playing with the Soviet Wings. Tony, remember Mike Chapman first off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now, the Boston Bruins. Number 1, goalie Gilles Gilbert. Number 30, goalie David Reese. Number 6, defenseman Darrell Edderstrand. Number 20, defenseman Dallas Smith. Number 22, defenseman Brad Park. Number 23, defenseman Al Sims. Number 25, defenseman Gary Doak. Number 29, defenseman Joe Zanussi. Number 8, forward Ken Hodge. Number 10, forward Jean Rattel. Number 11, forward Andre Savard. Number 12, forward Wayne Cashman. Number 14, forward Dave Forbes. Number 17, forward Bobby Schmutz. Number 18, forward Hank Nowak. Number 19, forward Greg Shepard. Number 21, forward Don Marquardt. Number 24, forward Terry O'Reilly. Number 27, forward Doug Gibson. And number 9, Captain Johnny Busick.
Big John, divide.
And the coach of the Bruins, Don Cherry. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our organist, John Calley, will play the Soviet national anthem, to be followed by the American national anthem, which will be sung by Miss Lindsay Heanes.
Now comes the traditional presentation of gifts prior to this hockey game. And as usual, plaques presented by the Boston Bruins, the NHL member club with the Boston logo, in exchange for a pennant from the Central Red Army Club of the Soviet Union. Our coverage of Super Series 76 Game 6 continues in just a moment.
Come with us across the rainbow sky. We're building silver highways for your dreams to fly.
Pacific Western Airlines. From Victoria to Calgary and from Seattle to the land of the midnight sun, we're with you all the way.
We're Pacific Western Airlines. We're with you all the way.
CBC presents the excitement of Canadian college sports. Don't miss the final round of the St. Mary's Invitational Basketball Festival from Halifax on CBC College Sports this Saturday afternoon.
The officials for tonight's game, the referee is Victor Dombrowski. He's at center. He is the visiting official. There he is. He's flanked by D'Amico on the right and Stickle on the left. Shlukov goes to center with Alexandrov on one wing and Vikulov in the other. And the puck is cleared into the Soviet zone, and immediately we get an icing called against the Bruins.
I'm kind of surprised, Brian, that they started Rattel, Marcotte, and Schmutz against that line. I thought they'd play him against Karmelov for sure.
Soviets, everybody up on the face-off. Dallas Smith behind the net. And Vikulov doing the forechecking. Park cleared it out. It goes to center. Lutsenko to the other side. Broken up by Dallas Smith and Rattel. Cleared it into the Soviet zone. There's Schmutz in there against Lutsenko. It's stopped by Park. Park takes the shot right on. And Tretiak establishes from the net. And it's cleared away by Zagankov out over the line. And a golden scoring opportunity for the Bruins as Park intercepted that pass out. The Bruins again clear it in. And it's Park knocking it in along the wing. Lutsenko losing it. And it's recovered by Alexandrov. Here's Rattel with a weak shot. Marcotte goes to the corner. Back to the point it comes to Park. He tipped it in there for Schmutz. Schmutz trying to center it. And he hit the net. The Gankov for the Soviets. Ahead. Shlukov has it, and he's called on the offside.
Still tremendous pressure early in the hockey game by the Boston Bruins as Rattel and then Marcotte missed from point blank.
It was a great opportunity, but you notice how Brad Park came in there and really cut off the play. Here's an interesting pair-up, Karmelov and Cashman. They had a little bit going in 72.
I guess I remember that.
And we have Maltsev at center. Mikhailov on one wing. Bruins keeping it in. It's off a leg. Cashman bumping in the corner against Gusev. They struggle. Maltsev gets it. It's stopped by Shepard. And a shot goes off Gusev. And the Bruins going to the attack here. Here's Cashman. And Busey gets shot right on. Tretiak making the save.
Tretiak, the Red Army goaltender, getting up as we watch this replay, Phil.
That Chief's in a favorite spot of mine when I play with Cashman, and he made a good shot. Tretiak made a great save.
Now Shepard tries to get the shot away. There's Busey. Vasiliev clearing it ahead. Harlamov dashing in on that right side, dropping it back, and Busey takes over. Mikhailov getting it back to Harlamov at the line. It's stopped by Shepard to Busey. Busey back for Shepard, picked up by Busey. Over to Cashman going in. Back to Shepard going in on goal. And the shot goes off a player. Edistran shoots it. Now Mikhailov getting a break. Mikhailov going right in on goal. And an electrifying save by Gilbert. Tremendous save by Gilbert. Out to Halabov. He's in over the Boston line. Halabov shoots, and Gilbert again with a big save.
Two brilliant stops by Gilbert from the Garden in Boston. Super Series 76.
Onion. Two all beef.
Bun seed sesame on onions, pickled cheese, lettuce, sauce, special patties, beef all too.
What was that?
Small beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun backwards.
That's good. That's impossible.
Face off to the right of the Gilbert, who has been spectacular. Lobanov, first time in the series, he's working on the boards. He's out there with Kudyegin and Popov. Now Kuzkin played it to the line. Dallas Smith intercepting, going in. Off the board, Forbes, and he flashes it wide. Here's O'Reilly going in against Volchenkov. It's behind the net. A mix-up between O'Reilly and Volchenkov. Dallas Smith keeping it in. There's O'Reilly around the Soviet net. He centered it. And Volchenkov cleared it behind the net to Kuzkin. Up to Popov. Back it goes. Into the center ice area. Lobanov. Savard got a piece of him. Volchenkov clearing it to Lobanov. Off his leg to the board. He's knocked down by Dallas Smith. Volchenkov to Kuzkin on the far side. Kudyegin for the Soviets. Luchenko now on the ice. He turns at the Soviet line. Played it into the center ice area. Gluktov to Popov down in over the Boston line. Here's Popov. He's turned around by Dallas Smith, and Forbes comes up with it. His pass goes down the ice, and back after it goes Luchenko. The Bruins and the Soviets, scoreless. Marcotte fell against the Gankov, who tried to line up Gary Dose.
Game getting quite physical, Phil Esposito.
Well, as long as they keep hitting like this, the Bruins, and keeping it clean, and don't get penalties, stupid penalties against the Soviets, they'll be all right.
Here's a replay and a hit here. And this is the longest in any of the three Army NHL games that has gone without the first goal being scored. Schutt scored for Montreal at 3:16, and at New York it was Vickers after 21 seconds.
Right.
Spots on with Rattel, Marcotte, Dope. Cleared it around the boards. Here's Marcotte in the corner getting set. He centered it. A couple seconds left to Rattel, and he couldn't pick it up. The Soviets clearing it out. Edestrand drifting it in. Sagankov going in against Rattel. Into the corner. Here's Rattel trying to get it loose against Sagankov. And the play is stopped. And Brian and Phil, I have smocked up there with flip-flops.
I'll tell you one thing, that number 6, you know, when we first saw the program, they said he was 5'9". That's that Sagankov. He's about 6'2", I think.
Just a typographical error.
Now there's Schmutt chasing it to the board. Sagankov cleared it out. On it is Schmutt. Heads back, takes the shot, and he rattled it off Sagankov's leg. Luchenko to Alexandrov. Schmutt is in there. Now Edestrand on the left side. Couldn't get it. Gluktov knocked it to center. Comes up with it himself. The big fellow is in on the right side to Alexandrov. And he hit Edestrand. Here come the Bruins at center. And it's shoveled in there by Edestrand, and he was bowled over and went sliding into the board.
Well, forechecking, Phil, has been the story for the Bruins so far, and they've effectively throttled any chance the Soviets have to get out of their own zone on many occasions.
Well, I'll tell you, Brian, this is the line now that they have to stop. That's Maltsev, Mikhailov, and Karmelov. That's the line that I think has done the most against NHL teams so far, and if they can stop them, they'll be all right.
And the Bruins up on the faceoff. There's Park flashing one, 3 or 4 feet wide. Busey getting it back to Park. He winds up and stumbles off the rebound. And it's cleared by Gusev. Now Mikhailov trying to work out. He's stopped by Shepard. Busey tried to move in there. And it's Gusev hitting Harlamov. He's bumped by Busey. Park tried to keep it in. Now Busey hits it into the corner. The Gusev in there. Shepard after him. There's no score in the first period. Now it's Maltsev hitting the Bruin line, trying to get through there. And Shepard knocked it into the center ice area. Gusev to Vasiliev. Into the center ice area to Maltsev. Over the line. Harlamov going in. And that quick wrist shot went off Gilbert. Has he been hurt?
He looks as though he's shaken. Tonight's game is coming to you from the Garden in Boston.
Thrifties is everybody's thing.
I hope everything goes okay. This new set of Levi's ought to knock him out.
Oh, she likes me. She should really dig this new outfit I got at Thrifties.
Levi's always makes a girl look great.
When you look great, you feel great.
Here goes.
This is it.
Hey, Levi's.
Beautiful. Thrifties, we're everybody's thing. More than just pants.
Lining up for the face-off to the right of Gilbert. He was shaken up on that wrist shot by Harlamov. He went off to the side of the net, but he's okay now. He has been outstanding. He's pulled off two beautiful saves. The Bruins out shooting the Soviets 6-3 so far. Now Vasiliev in on the left side. The shot right on. And they're deadly accurate with these shots. Here's Shepard up on the left wing, dropping it back. And there to pick it up was Vasiliev, but it was offside. They're quite accurate with these shots, Phil, just like you.
They are, well, but I'm kind of surprised that they aren't putting like Marcotte or somebody, a little bit of a better checking line against that Maltsev line, because that's the only line that really does a lot of trouble, you know, a lot of problems, causes problems for the NHL guys.
That's Edestrand back there. Popov is gone with Lobanov and Kutyrkin. Forbes for Boston with Savard and O'Reilly. They shoot it in. Here's O'Reilly losing it. Kutyrkin coming down on the left side. Popov over the other wing, going in a goal, Popov. And he was checked neatly there by Savard. I think it was Savard who did the back checking and knocked the puck away. There's Savard. He just got away from Volchenko. Now over on the left side, Forbes takes the long shot into Tretiak. Volchenkov in behind the net, got away from the check. It's cleared ahead by Popov. Down the ice it goes. Here's Gilbert getting it up on the left side. There's Savard with Forbes. In over the Soviet line. There's Forbes. It's shot right on by Savard. And what a splendid save that was by Tretiak. Lobanov a shot, and doing the split was Gilbert, and it was wide. We've had excellent scoring opportunities in this game, and there is icing against Boston.
Great action so far. And Phil Esposito, what about the fast break of the Russians? They're getting a lot of one-on-one and two-on-one opportunities.
They break out so quickly that if you don't really contain them in their zone, they have a guy hanging around the blue line, and bang, as soon as they give them the puck, the other guy's coming up late, and they've got a 2-on-1, a 3-on-2, and they do it extremely well.
No score in the first period. 12 minutes and 7 seconds left. There's Smots for the Bruins, hitting Rattel. He flicked it in, going in after it against the Gankov. They jam in on the board. Smots is looking for a loose puck. Smots has it. He tried to center it, and it went through the crease. There's Brad Park. Now Rattel is after it. Rattel feeding it back in. And the Bruins on top of the Soviets here. Rattel bumping, gets it over to Smots. He spun around. Here's Rattel. Park takes the shot off the glass. Over to the left side, Marcotte. Gankov is after him. Now Vikulov goes in there too, and we get a stoppage in play.
Yeah, we're coming up to half a period. We have not yet had a penalty in the hockey game. Viktor Dombrowski, the Soviet referee handling matters tonight. This is Super Series 76 from Boston.
Oh,
Oh, you must be the new kid. Desitin Skincare Lotion.
I'm new, all right, but I'm no kid. I'm for adults like you.
Well, I'm the #1 hand lotion.
Well, you are now, but I'm very rich.
Not richer than I am.
Mm-hmm. 50% richer in the emollients that make dry adult skin soft as a baby's.
50% richer?
Yes, 50% richer. So I work harder than you do.
New Desitin Skincare Lotion, the adult way to baby your skin.
Face off to the right of Kretschak. The Gankov clearing it out. The Schluckhoff is spun around. Now Rattel feeds it back in. And again, the Bruins go on that pattern of forechecking. No score in this, the opening period, but both teams have had glittering scoring opportunities. Now Vikulov forced back into his own zone. Feeds it to Schluckhoff. Alexandrov had vacated that left side, and Park takes over and was almost intercepted by Vikulov. Now Rattel over to Schmutz. To Rattel. Rattel trying to pass it, and it hit a leg. Schmutz was upended with a good solid check. Now it's Dallas Smith clearing it back into the Soviet zone. The Bruins are making changes while the play goes on. Now Busick is after it. Passes it to Schmutz, and it's offside at the Soviet line.
The Russian player at the blue line made a great check on Schmutz, and I think it killed the play because Marcotte was open on the left side, and Rattel had the puck, and all he had to do was lay it over there, but that defenseman made a good play on it.
It is Maltsev, Harmelov, and Mikhailov for the Soviets. Busick, Shepard, and Cashman for the Bruins. Puck is in the center ice area. Goke slices it back, and it's over the glass.
And there's not much room in the crowd to duck tonight, sir. You hear that?
I don't think so. This reminds me of 1970. First year we won the Stanley Cup here in Boston.
Yeah, they were jammed in there that year, weren't they, Phil? Would you like to be out there tonight, switch uniforms just for one night?
Yeah, because one game against these guys is not enough. I remember they beat us 7-3 the first game in 72.
10 minutes and 12 seconds remain. Now Boston going in. Cashman going to go. He's the goal post. Cashman right in. There's Shepard shooting it right on. The bag away on it. And Cashman thought that he may have knocked it in, but
this Kretschak is picking up where he left off in Montreal on New Year's Eve, but he was helped by the goalpost.
Well, a tough night for Cashman, too. Watch him hit the post here.
Good shot, too.
And he comes right back, Phil.
Here it is, watch. Here's a rebound. He just whacks at it. Good play. Kretschak made a good play.
Soviets cleared out. There's Vasilyev. A long left wing pass. Don't stop it. Cashman over to Busick. He hops in over the Soviet line, and it's knocked off his stick. Mikhailov over to Harlamov. There's the quick shot, the rebound. And Harlamov missed on the rebound. A great chance. There's Gusev. A shot knocked down by Cashman. Here's Cashman getting a break. Cashman going right in on goal. Couldn't get the shot away. Vasilyev came back after him. Here's Busick. Back it goes to Edderstrand. To Shepard. To Busick. Back to Shepard. Here's Gary Joke into the corner for Cashman. Cashman going after it. And there's the pass to Mikhailov. He's coming down with Harlamov. Over the line to Harlamov. Beautiful passing. Now Edderstrand bumps Harlamov. Cashman is knocked down. Out on the left wing at center is Ford. In over the line. And Pushkin knocks it away. Ford takes Pushkin to get on the board. Gusev at the line. Ahead it goes to center. Mikhailov is after it against Park. And Park played it out. 8 minutes and 42 seconds left in the first period. A great first period of hockey. And there's no score. There is Popov. Ahead it goes. Kutjergan tried to get through there. Now, Lobanov is tied up. Here's O'Reilly. He lost his stick, and he kicked it into the Soviet zone. Valchenkov ahead to the line. Lobanov down into the center ice area, spun around by O'Reilly. Lobanov and Forbes started to shove in front of the Bruins bench. There's the shot by Tavares.
And Kuzkin was lining him up for a shot.
But Kuzkin took the brunt of that one.
Yeah, he did, but I'm going to tell you, the Bruins are starting to get a little bit chippy now. And they better not, or else they're going to get a stupid penalty.
With 8:04 remaining in the first period, the score is Soviet Red Army nothing, Boston Bruins nothing.
TV Records presents Tom Jones. The music, the energy, the feeling of Tom Jones are yours. What's new, Pussycat? The Tom Jones 10th anniversary album. 2 records, $7.99. 2 8-track tapes, $10.99. On TV Records. Available at participating outlets.
It is Gibson, number 27, on for Boston. Moss took a shot. He hit Gudjurgen. Now Popov dashing down on the right side, jammed out of the play by Marcotte and Edestrand. Doak on the right side. Smuts was hit by Volchenkov. Gudjurgen. Pass intercepted by Marcotte, and he brought it in on the offside.
Boy, the checking is fierce at times, Phil. You see all the little tricks when we're so close to the action. The sticks coming up a little bit, digging in.
We don't know. Kuzkin was giving the referee a little heck. We don't know what he was saying, though.
It was in Russian.
Vasiliev is being administered to. Now here's Gibson with it for Boston. The pass goes to Edestrand on the other side. Edestrand out to Marcotte, a backhand shot. Who's fucking from the net? A scramble. And they hold it out. Moss was doing some rather vigorous shoving in front of Petchak.
So Darrell Edestrand's playing a strong game for Boston, Phil. He kept the puck in. Schmatz had another excellent scoring chance, somewhat reminiscent of the game in Montreal when the Canadians had so many excellent chances.
Well, on that replay there, Marcotte would have got the puck a little bit on his forehand. He would have seen, watch Schmatz throw a left hook here. Oh, I guess you don't see it. Here's Edestrand right now. Great. See, it just was a little bit too far in front of Marcotte.
Here, right in front of the net, a shot, the goal post. Shepard hit the goal post. It was up fairly high, but I'm almost certain he hit that goal post. We'll see it on a replay. That's the second time tonight the Bruins have done that. Now it's Cashman up on the left side. There's Nowak going in against Gankov. The Gankov to Alexandrov on the left side. Sukov. He gives it to Vikulov. Vikulov shoots a quick one. Gilbert is down. And how quickly they get those shots away.
I'll tell you, Gilbert is really playing a strong game tonight, Danny. He is standing up to every one of these guys' shots, and that's the best I've seen a goalie play against them so far.
We've had 2 goal posts hit. Here's that play again. The shot that Gilbert made a stop on. At the other end, just moments earlier, Shepard hit the goal post, and they're certainly painted the appropriate colors here tonight, those posts.
No score. First period. Cashman knocked it to center. Nuchenko firing it ahead, and he missed Vikulov. Dallas Smith to Cashman in over the line. And it picked us to Gankov. It's Vikulov. Alexandrov on the other wing. Now to Shlukov going in. A backhand low shot. He wasn't wide by much. Here come the Bruins. Nowak down on the wing. Puts on the break. Alexandrov taking over for the Soviets. They jam in there. The Gankov comes up with it to the other side to Alexandrov. Alexandrov losing it to Cashman. Here's Cashman in the corner, centering it to the other side. Hart into the corner for Cashman. Cashman getting it back. It's at the line. Dallas Smith, a high-rising shot. Here's Cashman around the net. Cashman still with it. The Soviets start out. Alexandrov to Vikulov. Vikulov coming out, and it's called with 5:53 left in the period.
Game 6 of Super Series 76 is coming to you from Boston.
There's a little mystery inside every Cadbury caramel bar. You slowly bite through a square of rich Cadbury milk chocolate, and suddenly, mysteriously velvety, smooth, soft-flowing caramel escapes from somewhere inside and luxuriously blends in your mouth with the milk chocolate to create a taste too delicious to forget, too unique to explain, but isn't that the best kind of mystery?
Well, your old buddy Wayne Cashman looks tired, but he's been playing super hockey.
He's been playing absolutely great. I think he remembers '72 when he got hurt in Sweden, couldn't play in Russia.
Savard, O'Reilly, and Forbes for the Bruins. Ederstrand lobbed an easy one over the line. Maltsev, Harlamov, and Mikhailov. Maltsev weaving his way in. Backhands it in, and Gilbert taking no chances, holds on.
Well, there's not been a goalless period in this series so far, and the shots on goal to date, Boston 12, Red Army 8.
If I had a line to choose to play against the Maltsev line, it would be Savard, O'Reilly, and Forbes. And that's what's happening out there now.
On the right side at center, O'Reilly hit Forbes with it. Forbes going in. Weak shot. And Tretiak covers up.
Bill Tretiak likes to cover up on the puck. He doesn't leave anything to chance around his net.
I can't remember, but in 72 whether he did that or not, but in 74, I think Jerry Cheevers covered up an awful lot, and I think he took a little lesson from Cheevers.
Now O'Reilly. He hits Savard with it, digging it out. Here's Savard trying to center it, and the Soviets start out. Mikhailov headmans the puck, and it's over Harlamov's stick.
So dangerous. Coming up in our intermission, we're going to have a feature on Tretiak, the Soviet goaltender. Bill Good will be along with Brad Park of the Bruins, and Howie Meeker will be along with special highlights. Here comes Ken Hart.
Yeah, that's what you're cheering for, and I'm glad. I'd like to see him play. He's been a super friend of mine for a long time, and I think he's a darn good hockey player. Too good to be sitting on the bench.
Rattel, Hodge, and Marcotte for the Bruins. There is Park with it. He hits Dallas Smith. He swings it out to Rattel. Rattel shooting it in. Hodge is going in on the right side. Against Kuset. It's stopped by Park over to Marcotte. Marcotte a backhand shot. He took it to the net. And Rattel hit the side of the net. Here's Hodge. Hodge behind, trying to center it. He gets back to the net. And Rattel hit Tretiak. Here's Park. Park from the corner. Park trying to get the session against Vasiliev. It's centered. Mikhailov starting away, going down against Dallas Smith. Back to Harlamov. And he passed it to an open wing. Now Maltsev follows up, goes to the other side, bodied by Marcotte. To Vasiliev, shot by Hodge. Hodge ahead to Rattel. Rattel trying to drop it back. Rattel still with it. He centered it in front. Tretiak down. Now Vasiliev is hit by Hodge. Vasiliev is knocked off balance by Marcotte. Hodge has it. Oh! A tremendous save by Tretiak. How does he do it? Now Harlamov coming out with Mikhailov. Harlamov over the line. Going in, spun around by Dallas Smith.
I knew it.
And the penalty is coming up.
First penalty of the hockey game goes to Dallas Smith. Remarkable goaltending from Tretiak from the Garden in Boston. Super Series 76.
Sometimes you may not want to crunch a Cadbury Crunchy bar quickly. So it's nice to know you can also melt that golden sponge toffee and delicious milk chocolate slowly. Cadbury Crunchy. You can make it last as long as you like.
Well, let's look at that penalty back. Dallas Smith.
Well, I'm going to tell you, he could have called about 4 or 5 other penalties, and he called one like that. My prejudice is showing, I think.
And the Soviets, they have a tremendously potent power play. They have Shluptov, Alexandrov, Vikulov, Duchenko, and Sagankov. Now Park in behind the net, gives it to Forbes on the left side, and he sends the Soviets back down the ice. We have Shepard and Forbes and Sims along with Park defending for the Bruins. Now Alexandrov on the right side in over the line. Back to the line, it's got over. Duchenko at his own line for the Soviets. Vikulov watching Forbes, who is doing some forechecking. No score. Shepard. Here's Shepard leading it to the other side. And the Soviets start out. Shluptov is over the line. Getting set to Sagankov in front of the net. And Sims cleared it. Now Vikulov getting set, trying to get it in front. Shepard knocked it away. to Gankov, back in it goes to Pikulov to the side of the net, and Parker was kicked on it, and he knocked Alexandrov down. Good work by Brad Park. Now Brad Park mixing it up with Alexandrov. There's back to Luchenko. He takes a shot. Alexandrov and Park looking at each other. They go into the boards heavily, and a penalty coming out to Alexandrov.
Alexandrov took a swing at Park. The referee saw that, but moments earlier, his back was turned when Park took a swing at Alexandrov.
Yeah, but at that play, particular play, I wish we could see the replay. Alexandrov went over Park and gave him the cross-check. He's been the most aggressive player I think I've ever seen as far as the Soviets go. I think maybe it's because he's so young and he's sort of, getting the style of the NHL. I really believe that.
He's only 20.
He's a heck of a hockey player.
Soviet penalty to number 11.
Are you kidding me?
Boris.
There it is here.
Watch again now. This is the end of that play. Earlier, Bill, we saw
backdoor punch.
Time of the penalty, 17 minutes.
It started off anyway behind the net, and they were really going at it. I thought they was going to call him for both, to tell you the truth.
Alexandrov for roughing at 17-20.
Dallas Smith has 43 seconds left in his penalty. Alexandrov just starting, so they are 5 aside, and there is no score. Now here's Gibson over the line, back to Schmaltz. He shoots into the upper corner, and it was a tremendous shot. Here's Schmaltz again, shooting it right on. That time Tretiak was in front of it. The Bruins at this stage out shooting the Soviets 17-8. But don't think that Gilbert hasn't pulled off some great saves too. He has. Now Mikhailov chasing it back into his zone. Vasiliev gave it to Mikhailov to the other side. Here's Schmaltz with it. He shoots. Oh, how did he get a piece of that? He has robbed Schmaltz 3 or 4 times. Gusev on the corner. Now the Bruins with the advantage. Alice Smith is up the penalty box. Harlamov got away on that right side. He is a smoothie. Passes it over to Mikhailov. Mikhailov and Harlamov, and we have 55 seconds left in the penalty to Alexandrov. Harlamov shooting it down the ice. Coach Don Cherry sending out to Rappel. Cashman, Park, Slot, and Edestrand stays out there. Here is Park into the center ice area. Pass over to Cashman into Soviet territory. To Rappel has shot, and he fired it wide. Here's Smut. Smut getting set. He centered it. Edestrand going after it. It comes to the side of the net. And Tretiak holds on.
Big story in this period has been the play of Tretiak, as you might expect, off his previous performances.
He's really playing well, and I noticed that, and you don't notice it playing against him so much, but he is down quite a bit on his knees. A la my brother, Kenny Dryden, Dryden goes down in that sort of approach when he can't see the puck and all that, and Tretiak does the same thing.
Now in the period, 1 minute remaining. 18 seconds left in the Alexandrov penalty. No score in the first period. Brad Park fakes the pass. Now he holds it, hands it off to Edestrand. He flicked it into Soviet territory. Rattel behind the net. Here's Rattel on the boards for Hodge. Hodge has it around the net. Hodge still with it. He rolled it over to the other side. Alexandrov is back on. Here's Brad Park working the corner, centering it to Rattel. And it's hooked away by Shlukov. Goes to Vikulov. Vikulov losing it to Hodge. And Hodge gaining a degree of popularity here at the Boston Garden. Here's Rattel coming in the shot. And it was blocked by Tretiak. Luchenko to Alexandrov. He almost put it on Rattel's stick. On the left side. Shlukov pops over the line. To Vikulov, a shot. And that one went off. He's Gilbert.
Still no scoring. First period from the Boston Garden. Just 4 seconds left in the period.
Danny, I think that one, Danny, went off the crossbar. Not Gilbert. I think it hit the crossbar. And if we had a replay, I think you'd see it just hit the crossbar, I think.
Well, let's see if we can get that replay.
So if that's the case, it'll be two goal posts and 1 crossbar this period.
Boston leading 2-1 in that department, but there's no score in the game. Boston having hit the post plates, and now the end of the first period, and I think every
everybody enjoy that demonstration of great hockey by two teams.
An absolutely
dedicated to great effort.
An absolutely great hockey period. I think nobody can be disappointed with that effort of both teams. It was unbelievable.
Shots on goal by the Boston Bruins, 19 by the Soviet Red Army, 9. And that's the most shots by a team in a period to date. They've changed the date. Live from the Garden in Boston, Super Series 76.
If you're looking for a mileage-improved, value-packed family car...
The cat's where it's at.
The 1976 Mercury Montego. When I went out to buy my new Montego, I went for sportiness and style. My Montego, sleek, stylish lines, super-looking optional vinyl roof, and standard 351 V8 engine that gives me miles more driving. Power front disc brakes, steel-belted radial tires, power steering, select-shift automatic transmission, and optional twin comfort lounge seats. That's my car.
But it's really our car. Plenty of room for us, the kids, and luggage too, and within our budget. Montego offers much better gas mileage this year than last. It starts easily, accelerates smoothly, so I enjoy driving it when I get the chance. It just makes sense to own our car.
Mercury Montego, my car.
Our car.
The cat's where it's at.
See all the new mileage-improved 76s at your Mercury dealer today.
For those of you who don't always have the time for formal dine-ins, Cadbury makes the snack bar. A crispy wafer biscuit center with caramel, peanuts, Rice Crisps, and delicious Cadbury chocolates. When you can't get out for a bite.
Something a bit different in each one of these games. This is the first scoreless period we have seen, thanks largely to the great goaltending of Jules Gilbert of the Bruins, and more so Vladislav Tretiak of the Central Red Army. And that leads us rather nicely and ideally into a first period feature on the Russian goalie, narrated by the late Jack Dent.
Vladislav Tretiak is only 22, but he's been the goaltender of the Soviet Union's national team for 5 years. His own First Division club team, Central Red Army, with stars such as Valery Varlamov, Boris Mikhailov, and Vladimir Petrov, is a perennial power in Soviet hockey. And so Russian fans have been familiar with Tretiak for quite some time, while Canadians know him only for his 2 spectacular series against Team Canada in 72 and 74. It's time we took a closer look at the man behind the wire mask. When he's not studying at the physical training college in Moscow or wrapped up in the chaotic world of dodging slap shots, Vladislav likes to get away from all the tension and relax with a fishing rod. But because his wife is a student too, Vladislav has to chip in with the chores around the home. Today is wash day in the Tretiak household, and the best hands in European hockey are quite capable of wringing out the laundry. Vladislav hasn't had too much practice with the ironing, however, so his wife Tanya steps in to take over. The Tretiaks have a young son named Dima, and when Vladislav was asked if his son might become a goaltender someday, he replied in this way: "Whether he becomes a goaltender or a forward, it doesn't make much difference. The important thing is that he takes up sport and gets to love it, because sport will make a man out of him." If Vladislav Tretiak is doing the teaching, young Dima's bound to pick up a few pointers. In fact, he's already well on the way to mastering the training table technique. Vladislav's wife is a language student, and after dinner is out of the way, Mr. and Mrs. Tretiak have plenty of studying to do. Tretiak has received awards for World Championship and Olympic competition, as well as Outstanding Player Awards against Team Canada, and a Most Valuable Player Award in the Soviet First Division. But he's still young and still learning. Outdoors with his Central Red Army teammates, you can find Tretiak practicing even in the middle of summer. Alexander Gusev is helping him here with his catching hand. One of Army's coaches, Konstantin Loktev, who acted as an assistant coach in the recent Team Canada series, oversees this dryland training. Working together, the two Army goaltenders stress drills for reflexes and agility. But a Soviet practice isn't all drills. Soccer is a popular game for hockey coaches to build up the conditioning and the teamwork of their players. Back at the rink, we see that the goaltenders work as hard as anyone in a Soviet practice. We asked Vladislav what he feels are the most important qualities for playing goal. He told us a goaltender has to be fearless, because a puck can really hurt. He also has to be cool under fire. But the most important thing, according to Tretiak, is that he be willing to work very, very hard. Work is something that Vladislav certainly gets his share of. With the Soviet regular season and playoffs, European and World Championships, and every so often a series against the Canadians, Vladislav usually plays about 100 games in a season. Asked if he felt any kind of strain from all this competitive pressure, Tretiak answered this way. He knows he can't stop every shot, and he gets down on himself when he does make mistakes, because they often mean the difference between winning and losing a game. But he added he will continue to strive for perfection. And from what we over here have seen of Vladislav Tretiak, perfection may not be too far away.
Unlike Alexander Sadolnikov of the wings of the Soviet, Tretiak is almost never out of position. It takes a great shot to beat him, and the Bruins are just going to have to keep trying. Brad Park is one who will. He is a guest of Bill Good Jr. as Super Series 76 continues in a moment.
Hello, George. Good evening, Tom.
You know, in times like these, I'm glad my securities are handled by a really good investment firm.
Oh? Who's that?
Pitfield Mackay Ross did a portfolio review for me a while back. From that time on, we've worked together.
That good, eh?
Very professional, and a really broad range of services. But you know, what impressed me most was the quality of their people.
George, I couldn't have been looked after better if my account had been as big as yours.
You know, I'm sure I made the right move.
I think you did, Tom.
Pitfield Mackay Ross have been my financial advisors and my company's too for 20 years. And they still are. Because in times like these, you need the best people around you can find.
Pitfield Mackay Ross, 40 offices in Canada and abroad. Choosing us could be your most important investment decision.
Well, the fans here at the Garden in Boston have a new hero to applaud. He's Brad Park. Thought there was a rookie in the league for a little while when I first came to town. I don't know what it's like from where you're watching this game, but it's a tremendous game to watch from upstairs.
Well, you don't get too much time to take a look around out there. Things are moving pretty fast, and it's one heck of a game going on so far.
Bill said before the game that he thought the key was for the Bruins not to take early penalties or bad penalties, and you really only faced that power play for a short time.
Well, we talked about this before we went into tonight's game, and the fellow said, well, we got to go out and take the body and work on them, force them in their own end, and forget the rough or cheap penalties, and because it could put us behind.
We hear Tretiak all the time when we watch this team play, and he was sensational in the first period, but the fellow at the other end was pretty outstanding, too.
Gilles Gilbert's just been a fantastic for us over the last couple of months. I can't say enough about him. He's playing his angles. He's red hot tonight. He's a new father. He's got everything going for him, and he's playing just super for us out there tonight.
You had things going a little bit with, I think it was Alexandrov late in the period. What was going on?
Oh, just a misunderstanding.
You were starting to mix it up a little bit before that penalty was called. Actually, the Soviet official, I think, was pretty careful not to call penalties early. He let quite a few things go.
Well, he doesn't want to get anything. He thinks maybe if he gets something going, gives us penalties, he might get upset, which is what probably happened. But things have been pretty quiet. I wouldn't say that there's been a lot of chippiness. There's been a lot of grinding out there, and a lot of interference. That he's like, let's go over in Russia, and he isn't calling it here. But other than that, it's been very tame so far.
Brad, is it a pace that would be difficult for the club to keep up through 3 periods? Was it a very difficult period to play?
Well, it was for us because we've been off about 5 or 6 days, and they've been off maybe a little bit longer. But it's tough to get into a tempo of that game when you haven't played for, 5 or 6 days. But I think that we have our legs now, and we should come out in the second period and should be skating a little bit better.
How much different is it playing this club, say playing the Philadelphia Flyers or the New York Islanders?
Well, the New York Islanders and Philadelphia Flyers are a little more body conscious. They'll take the body and they'll take a few more steps to hit a guy. The Russians use a lot of interference and things like this.
You're doing a good job forechecking, and I thought Cashman played one of the best periods I have ever seen him play.
Well, Cashman said before that he wasn't up for this game, but I've been with him all week, and he's been working his butt off, and he's been thinking about it. That's the only thing he's been talking about, and he's really working on it there.
He's not being up for the game. I've heard other players say that. How can an NHL team not be up for this kind of a series?
Oh, it's very simple. They're not going to play him.
You mean on an ongoing basis?
The clubs that aren't playing them, they're not up, but the clubs that are playing them, they're up for the games. There's no doubt two ways about it. They have to be.
Did you actually do much preparation specifically for the Soviets?
Well, the preparation that we've had has come in the last 2 months with the way we've been playing. And I think the only thing that we can do is keep playing the same way that we have been. And don't change, forecheck them in their own end. And I think what they're trying to do is relieve the pressure as they're sending all their forwards up at the blue line, trying to force our defensemen to pull up and firing it up center. We'll probably think of something to counter that for this next period, I hope.
Well, I hope so, too. We'll be watching for it. Howie Meeker coming up next with some highlights of that first period, and there were several. And we'll return with Super Series 76 in just a moment.
For this next period, I hope.
Well, I hope so, too. We'll be watching for it. Howie Meeker coming up next with some highlights of that first period, and there were several. And we'll return with Super Series 76 in just a moment.
You there in that fur coat, row with us. You there in that sailboat, row with us. You there in that horse and carriage, you there in that brand new marriage. Come on, everybody, row with us. Hey there in that tracksuit, row with us. Hey there in that slack suit, row with us. And you there playing with that ball, listen to our friendly call. Get it all together, row with us. Up there on that rooftop, row with us. You there with that new prop, row with us. And up there in that maze of steel, or cooking up a tasty meal. Come on, everybody, row with us.
The Bank of Nova Scotia, where savings plans and helpful advice work together for you.
Come on, everybody, row with us, row with us, row with us, row with us.
Howie, plenty of chances for the Bruins in the first period, and I thought arising from the same sort of plays as we saw Buffalo take advantage of against Wings of the Soviet. The difference, of course, is that the Bruins aren't putting them in.
Well, that's the problem, but certainly they're getting the chances. Tretiak is playing extremely well in goal, but the Russians, again, don't finish the check, and if you rush them just a little bit at the right time, they give the puck away. And our first highlight here is right off the bat. Luchenko is in behind the net, and he's got the puck, and he'll just try to put it out to the point. You'll see Brad Park move out. Now, there he is. That's Luchenko with the puck. Now, stop it right there. Now, he's trying to put it out to the point, but Brad Park, all right, let her go. Now, watch Park move in here. Look, see, he got in between the passer and the pass receiver. And right there, Rattel and Marcotte just had two good chances, and this was in the first minute of play. We potted one there. You never know.
Now, the Soviet chances in that period seem to be as a result of Bruins attacking and then the puck coming loose, and bingo, they're breaking away before you know it, and Mikhailov had a breakaway.
Well, that Cashman line and Shepard, you'll see it here, they just tic-tac-toe the puck around. I thought, gee whiz, they got to be Russians the way they passed the puck to get it into position. But just watch here. Well, this is a little late. Busick here is throwing it back to the point, and the Russian comes out, and it hits him. Now, Mikhailov. Look at him go here. Now, watch the right leg of Gilbert. Just a heck of a save. Saw it all the way, and it's goaltending like this that we're pretty used to seeing at the other end, but that kid's playing extremely well.
Yes, and Tretiak is just unbeatable. How about another highlight?
Hey, we got one here. The only way I think that Boston's going to get into trouble, and you'll see the quick pass. The puck comes out of the Bruin end, and this one pass will catch three Boston players. Now, just watch. There it goes back. Now, watch the Boston team. Now, there's no way in the world we should be attacking that man. Now, just stop. Just hold it right there. There you are, three Bruins caught. Now, watch how well they execute a 3-on-2. This is what really, I think, gets Canadian hockey teams and American professional hockey teams uptight, their ability in a 3-on-2 to make the goalkeeper come up with a good save. But when one pass catches 3 men, you're asking for trouble.
Well, we've had a great first period in terms of goaltending, in terms of scoring chances. We'd like to tell you that around the NHL tonight, the Leafs are leading the Islanders by a score of 1-0 on Errol Thompson's goal. And Vancouver and Buffalo are scoreless in the first period. That's for our fans in Toronto and Vancouver. We'd also like to make an announcement that immediately following this game, we'll ask you to stay tuned to the CBC for a special in the life of the late Prime Minister of the Republic of China, Zhou Enlai, who died earlier today. And now that we had that out of the way, another comment on the period, perhaps about the Bruins' physical approach. Do you think they're doing it as well as some other teams we've seen?
I think so, and one fella in particular makes me kind of proud because I knocked him a little bit earlier in the 72 series, Cashman. Cashman, I didn't think used good judgment, took a lot of stupid penalties, but he's playing extremely well tonight. He's finishing the check. He took an elbow, he took a slash across the ankle, and still didn't retaliate and get a stupid penalty. I'm just delighted to see him play so well.
Okay, Howie, thank you very much. Scoreless after one period, live from Boston Garden. This is Super Series 76.
CBC's Performance presents the touching story of a Newfoundland family in Toronto.
Uncle Whip.
Yes, my love.
Do you ever have the same dream over and over?
Yes, I do, but I wouldn't dare tell you. You think for sure your Uncle Whiff belonged in a cage. For years, it was always being Veronica Lake.
Of the Fields Lately, based on David French's smash play on Performance Sunday night.
Our broadcast booth, let me reintroduce Phil Esposito, who contributed so many glorious moments to Boston hockey here at the Boston Garden. Now you're witnessing a great moment, Phil, and helping us out with the broadcast.
This is a great hockey game. I'm not surprised at the way the Bruins are playing. I'm kind of ecstatic because you know, the Russians are so darn good, and I'm really, really happy to see the way the Bruins are playing hockey. And they're sticking to hockey, and they're not going out and getting crazy penalties like the Rangers did, and they're staying in the game.
Well, there's going to be a new story for the Rangers pretty soon. We're going to get into that later, but what should we look for now with the second period about to get underway?
I think you should look for much of the same, and I think that by that I mean the forechecking of the Bruins, the constant pressure on Tretiak. Sooner or later he's got to break. I mean, it's got to break. I mean, this man can't keep up these saves.
You're beginning to wonder about it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he had 19 shots on net, but I'd say 15 of them were from about 15 or 25 feet, and I mean, great scoring opportunities. And then I think Gilbert on the other end has been fantastic, and if he can keep up the same pace that he is going at, that this game can go scoreless. I'll tell you, these guys are really great. I also feel that the one thing that the Bruins have to do is contain Maltsev, Karmelov, and Mikhailov. And if they can contain these three guys, they'll beat this Russian team because those three guys do the bulk of the scoring for them.
You know, I was cheered to see that performance by Ken Hodge out there in that first period. He's taken such a roasting here in Boston, and yet he was digging every second he was on the ice.
As far as I'm concerned, Kenny Hodge is too good of a hockey player to be sitting on the bench, and I'm saying it across Canada. I'm saying it for the record. Yes, he is a friend of mine. Yes, I am prejudiced, and I just think he's too darn good of a hockey player to be sitting on the bench.
How about the officiating? We were all concerned about the Soviet official Victor Dombrowski tonight.
I think he's doing a good job. I feel that maybe he's let a little bit too much go on both sides, not only the Bruins but the Russians also, and I think maybe he's going to be a little bit tougher this period, and so maybe we're going to see a little bit more penalties.
You realize, of course, that he was the fellow who acted as a goal judge in '72 and failed to turn that red light on. You remember that?
No. That almost caused a war. Are you kidding me?
Alan Eagles are in.
That's right.
Thank you, Bill. Let's get back to work, and let's get back to Danny Gallivan.
Teams Bruins are back on the ice. There's no score in the game. The only statistics to report on the first period, 2 penalties to Alexandrov of the Soviets for roughing. And it was Smith, prior to that, going off for the Bruins for a holding. Boston outshot the Soviets 19-8. And so the Boston Garden, steeped in rich hockey tradition over a half-century, the Bruins celebrating their 50th year this year. This Boston Garden, the locale of a most interesting international hockey game tonight. And this is a sellout crowd, no question about it. They're standing 4 and 5 deep. And I don't think they'll go away disappointed, even if nothing happens from here in, because they've seen so much in that first period. And you know, Phil, remember, it's 0-0. One of the finest hockey games I've ever seen was the 0-0 game in Montreal between Boston and Montreal. It was Grey Cup Eve, I think, 1968.
Remember who the goalies were?
Yes, that's the hero.
That's right, and Jerry Cheevers. I'll never forget that game. We could have played, I think, until 3 o'clock in the morning and not scored any goals.
But you agree that that was just a great one?
That was one of the best hockey games I've ever been involved with and I've ever seen. But I'm going to tell you, this game here is coming close. At least the first period gives all indication that it's going to be a super hockey in the rest of the way.
There's Victor Dombrowski, your pal, Phil. You'll be seeing him, I guess, from time to time in future years.
If I ever see him again, I'm going to get him one of those little things with a button so he can press the red light. Practice.
He's no longer a goal judge.
Well, I can see that.
For the Soviets, Shlupkov, number 22 at center. Alexandrov, 11 over on the far left wing, and Vikulov, 18 on the right side. Rattel is centering for Boston. Marcotte and Schmott on the wing. Marcotte shooting it in, and there's Schmott. He had 4 shots on goal in that first period. He goes after his man. He's bringing it right in front. And it went off Rattel. He really didn't have it. And it's back into the center ice area. Harlamov also had 4 shots on goal in the first period. Now Vikulov is chasing it into Boston territory. Smith touches it, and that's icing against the Soviets.
4 shots on goal out of 8 isn't bad, that's for sure.
John Rattel of Boston Bruins also was a 4-shot man in the first 20 minutes.
You know what? It's going to be interesting to see whether Don Cherry keeps that Savard line on Maltsev's line, because I think he's going to have to.
From the faceoff, back near his own line, Dallas Smith ahead on the left wing boards. It's propelled in gently by Marcotte. Duchenko taken into the corner by Rattel. Now there's Clark going in after. Clark shoots it to the side. And it ricocheted over the glass. And the scramble. A souvenir of this game is something, I guess.
Well, Danny, you heard Brad Park tell Bill Good Jr. that he thought the Bruins would skate even better in this second period. We'll have to look forward to that.
You noticed the minute that Bruins made a change and put Shepard's line out there, the Russian guys threw out Maltsev, Mikhailov, and Karmelov.
Now Cashman, his pass gobbled up by Harlamov on the right side. Here's Maltsev, and he's picked by Edestrand. Maltsev trying to center it. He does. And flopping out there is Gilbert.
Well, I think very much that I just can't help, and I'm repeating myself, but I feel that Don has to put Savard's line, who's a checking line, to stop these guys.
It's Doak in behind the net. 1 minute and 2 seconds have gone by in the second period. Edestrand up to Busick. He tipped it, and it missed Cashman. Now Shepard is going after it against Gusev. They go into the corner. Shepard up in it. Vasiliev cleared it. It's stopped by Doak. Back in behind the net, and Cashman missed it. Here's Busick, the big chief from the other side. To Edestrand. A shot. And off the stick. Gusev, there's a shot by Cashman right on. And the Bruins forechecking the Soviets again. Vasiliev. Up on the right side, Doak back into Cashman. Here's Cashman flicking it. And it went off Pretziak. It's high in the air again. Maltsev getting it out to Harlamov with Mikhailov. They're in over the line. A weak shot by Harlamov. Shepard golfed it down the ice. That's going to be icing against the Bruins.
Oh, he's tired. That's why he golfed it down the ice. They're really forechecking, eh, Brian?
Well, they are, and I think that Cashman was also tired once in the first period. Tonight's game is coming to you from the Garden in Boston.
I'm the Masked Lumberjack. Saturday afternoon, TV wrestling. 103 consecutive losses. This here is the new $3 Western. Over $2 million in prizes. Those 2/4 millionaires? I'm gonna be one. After 103 losses, it's my turn.
Who's gonna win? Win the West.
To the left is Gilbert, number 10, to Diegan. He's out there with Lobanov and Popoff. It's DeBarge, Forbes, and O'Reilly. Hark in possession. He's chased back by Lobanov, laid it on the board. Forbes was jammed out of the play. It's back into the Soviet zone. Volchenkov being watched closely by Savard. Now it's stopped by O'Reilly. In for Park. It's off his stick. And Dallas Smith waiting for Forbes to get back onside. He hit O'Reilly. He lost it. It's picked up by Dallas Smith. Smith in over the line. He carries on to the corner. Here's Smith getting set. He still has it. Twisting and turning on the board. Out to the other side. Over there goes Lobanov. Lobanov is boarded by O'Reilly. Forbes coming back and shot it.
Phil Esposito talked about a break. Phil, you were talking about a break just as we started this period. There it is.
That's the big break. Like I was saying, Tretiak is the play here. Forbes just shoots in desperation, really. Tretiak makes a mistake, the puck's in the net. But we were talking about Tretiak, how good he is when in close. Maybe he sleeps a little bit like some of the goalies in the NHL do. Maybe he is human.
Well, we were beginning to wonder, but he misjudged a shot from the corner, or a pass from the corner, just moments before that goal. But suddenly the Bruins are on the scoreboard, leading 1-0.
And play is on again. Boston 1, Soviet no score. Now there's Rattel in along the board. Here's Schmutz chasing it around the Soviet net. He centered it, and the Army team starts off. Vikulov coming in on the left side. He goes to the corner against Edistrand. Rattel is bumped by Alexandrov. He got it to Doak. Doak up on the left side to Marcotte. Now there's Alexandrov. He's brought to the ice by Schmutz. Here's the penalty coming up. It's a hooking charge against Schmutz.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Live from the Garden in Boston, Super Series 76.
Give up Maxwell House Instant Coffee. Only for a week. Try to get by with a bargain brand.
My week without Maxwell House coffee was really like going a week without a cup of coffee. The aroma and the full body taste and the satisfaction that comes along with a cup of Maxwell House coffee. Give up Maxwell House? Maybe if I was on a desert island or something, I would.
Maxwell House really is too good to give up.
We're back at the Boston Garden, ready to resume play with Bobby Schmutz off for hooking 3:31.
So the Soviets on the power play. Vikulov and Sims along the boards. There's Alexandrov chasing it to the other side. Zagankov getting it over. Luchenko winds up for a high drive. There's Shlukov trying to get it back, and it's stopped by Shepard. He shoots it down the ice. We have Forbes and Shepard, Sims, and Park defending for Boston. Vikulov hitting the Boston line. Shlukov has it. Getting it back to Gonkov. Kicked out neatly by Gilbert. Here's Forbes, and he shoots it down the ice. A minute and 10 seconds left in the penalty. Good forechecking there by Forbes and Shepard in the Soviet zone. Rink-wide pass gobbled up on the side by Vikulov, going in against him. Into the corner now against Brad Park. And they get a stoppage in play with 54 seconds left in this Schmutz penalty.
Well, you notice how they're passing around, but here comes the line now out there. Maltsev and that Karmelov and Mikhailov. And these guys will pass the puck around like crazy. I'm glad to see Dunn making a change because I think Shep and Forby are a little bit tired.
They did a good job while they were out there.
It is Gusev and Vasiliev out of your picture. They're on the point. Now it's center right in front. They score! Harlamov!
Harlamov did it.
Shot.
And it's a tie hockey game as Harlamov with a quick backhand shot catches the corner behind Gilles Gilbert. Here it is, Phil.
Well, what happened was Al Sims and Brad both overskated the puck a little bit. Watch on the faceoff. It's just lying there. Al Sims overskates it there. Then Brad goes after the guy, and it's just a quick backhand shot. But there's what I mean. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that was a rotten penalty. But if you get a penalty against these guys, they're so dangerous.
So it is a tie hockey game, tied at 1. There's a pass from Vasiliev. It goes down the ice. Etta Strand is after it. And that is an icing call against the Soviets.
Valery Harlamov, Danny, 27 years old, scores for the Soviets. He scored 125 goals in 174 international games up to this season.
An amazing hockey player. Here's Cashman trying to work in from the faceoff. Now it's back to the point to Doak. He feeds it behind the net. Maltsev clearing it to Vasiliev. Back to Maltsev. Now Busek is going after it. Maltsev passing it ahead. Is down the ice again. Strand. Mikhailov after him, and Strand made the contact. 14:44 left in the second period.
Still, let's take another look at that goal by Harlamov and the faceoff, the important faceoff.
Well, here it is. Al Sims goes by it. Park goes by it, and a good backhand, quick shot. I mean, he just shot it at the net, and that's what makes for a good goal scorer like Harlamov.
Now it's slapped back in. Gibson reaching for it. Ashman gets it up along the wing. Harlamov ahead to Mikhailov at center. He's bumped by Cashman. Harlamov waiting for Mikhailov to get onside. Mikhailov and Cashman having words. Here's Gibson going in. He centered it right in front. And it's picked off by Maltsev. Ahead it goes. Harlamov is over the line. Now wheeling back on the right wing is Cashman. He picks it up himself over to Busek off the boards. He missed it. Cashman couldn't get it. Harlamov digs back in on the right side. Back to Mikhailov. He puts on the break. It's into the corner. Strand ahead to Busek. Soviets keep it in. Now it goes to Mikhailov. Mikhailov around the net. He tried to center it and he hit the net. Strand ahead to Cashman. With Busek, the veteran Bruins are in over the line. Busek gives it to Savard. Back to Busek in front, and Gusev was there. Vasiliev cleared it. Now here's Savard. Savard with it, getting set for a pass, and it was deflected by Gusev. Busek getting it back. Brad Park cleared it in. It hit the referee, and Petyak had to clear.
This crowd is really alive at the Boston Garden.
I think that Cashman and Mikhailov have something going. This dates back, believe me, sounds like old history, but it does date back to 72 in Toronto when Mikhailov cleared Cash. And, I mean, don't get me wrong, Cashman's not the cleanest player in the world, but Mikhailov's one of the dirtiest hockey players I've ever played against as far as smearing and all that's concerned.
Now Brad Park, there's a shot. And it ends up in behind the net. Here's O'Reilly digging it from the corner area. O'Reilly shoved along the boards by Volchenkov. They struggle for it. In there goes Savard against Kuzgin. They fight for it. And they go down, and there's a whistle.
A lot of energy being expended, and looking ahead to Sunday afternoon, watch for it, Philadelphia and Red Army, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the CBC.
I think the Russian guys are getting the Bruins a little upset, and this could lead to some stupid penalties, and I hope it doesn't happen. Well, there's Carol Vag.
Now Kuzgin trying to shake off Savard. It's behind. Solodukin playing it up, and it's intercepted by O'Reilly. Back to the point to Park. In for O'Reilly. Oh, right in front. And he couldn't make that good contact. The Bruins still pressing the Soviet. Here's O'Reilly around the net. He centered it inside. And Savard was upended. And the Bruins supporters reacted on that. There's Clark clearing it ahead and went over the glass.
I don't blame them for reacting on that one. It looked like football till the guy tackled him.
The crowd screaming for a penalty after Savard was pulled down right in the goal crease.
But you notice how this line of Savard, O'Reilly, and Forbes hem the other team in the zone. And this is what I think you have to do, and that's why I think they should put him against Maltsev's line. Because they'll forecheck him so much. Oh, listen to this. The Russian raspberry.
Now the Soviet. Lutsenko coming out at center. They're broken up. Vikulov recovers into the center ice area. Hands it off to Shlukov. He couldn't get anywhere. Vikulov with Rattel after him. Vikulov is in over the Boston line. Marcotte comes up with it. Marcotte with Schmutz on the right side. It's off his stick. Schmutz got by Lutsenko. Bumping this to Gankov in the corner. Now Shlukov starting out at the line. Alexandrov at center. In on the Boston line. And Edestrand cleared it down on the left wing. Lutsenko back there after it, forechecking Rattel. The Gankov up on the right side to Vikulov. Vikulov coming in against Dallas Smith, who took him out of the play effectively. Now centered out. Shlukov a shot, and he's wide. Alexandrov trying to center it, and it hit Dallas Smith. Now they go to the board. Marcotte clearing it out. And they're taking turns and pressing each other. First it was the Bruins and then the Soviets. Lutsenko over on the other side. Alexandrov. Back it turns to Gankov. He dropped it back. Mikhailov is on the ice. Maltsev is coming on. So is Varlamov. Now at that the area outside the line cleared in offside by Marcotte.
This is Super Series 76 from Boston.
Freedom. Ah, it's a beautiful thing to enjoy, especially after you retire. And let's face it, you will retire. Now, wouldn't it be nice to be able to afford to do all the things that you'd like to do? That's freedom. But you should start planning for it long before you retire with a Mutual Life Retirement Savings Plan. And by registering it, the money that you save every year on income tax will help you to pay for it.
A Mutual Life Registered Retirement Savings Plan. Freedom.
Each team has scored a goal nearing the midway mark. Cashman shooting it. It's bouncing in front of the net. They bang away at it. No goal. Let's see. Out they come out of the mix-up. Here it is.
It is a high stick, though. Let's see whether they hit him. I don't know. You can't tell whether they hit the puck or not.
I think Tretiak just held it out and, well, wait a minute. The face-off is coming outside the line now.
Here's another one.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Did they hit it, Danny?
I don't know. Shepard took a swipe at it. It's very difficult to tell whether or not he made contact. He's convinced he didn't do that, Phil.
Oh, look, I just was wondering. I'm sorry. I was watching in the crowd over there. Looks like there were some people having trouble with some Russian supporters, which is really terrible. I wish they just let them watch the hockey game.
Face off outside the Soviet line. Brad Park with the long. Vasiliev in behind the net. Face up, but they can't get it out over the line. Now Harlamov did. Dallas Smith took over and handed it to Nowak on the offside.
Tretiak seems to be a little shaky on those long shots right now.
I was noticing it. Did you notice that last long shot?
He's not handling him cleanly like he was before.
Over the line. Harlamov missed it. Down the ice, Gilbert had to clear it. Now Cashman. He missed Shepard. Now Park back into Cashman. Try to feed it in front, and a good defensive play by Park. Here's Nowak down on the left side.
Sound trouble is temporary.
Here's Maltsev. Maltsev stuttering it himself. And puck that shot off Dallas Smith's leg. Right in front of Karlov. And he scores! Karlov is down on the ice. Come on.
That's Mikhailov, I believe, Danny. And it was Cashman who swung around at Mikhailov. After the goal was scored, Harlamov picked up his second goal to put Soviet Red Army in front. Let's watch on the replay.
Watch what happened.
Brilliant shot again by Harlamov.
Yeah, Mikhailov with Gilbert there.
There's the goal. Now watch Cashman, upper part of your screen, if we could just carry that along. There's Cashman taking a swing out of your picture, and down goes Mikhailov.
Yeah, it was a good two-hander, I'll say that, but I don't think he's as hurt as bad as he thinks he is.
One moment, please. Sound trouble is temporary.
I'm a Snowmobile Club member, and I ride 1,400 miles of trails a year. What I want in a snowmobile is power, stability, ease of handling, and a smooth, comfortable ride. I think Futura has a touch of class, and this is what I need.
See your Motoski dealer now.
Way out, Volchenkov up on the left side. He shoots it in. And it's Dallas Smith clearing it to the line. Zagankov into Popov. A shot wide by Volkov. Now Marcotte. In possession for Boston to Dallas Smith. Less than 5 minutes left in the second period. The Soviets 3, the Bruins 1. Park beats it to Dallas Smith, and the veteran defenseman cuts in on the left side. His shot hits Zagankov. Now Zagankov working his way out. Down with Popov. Alexandrov cutting in on the right side. Takes the shot. Centered it. And Gary Doak was the goalie there. And very coolly cleared it. Now on the right side, Smuts over the line. Here's the Smuts into the corner. He's been outstanding for Boston tonight. Now he goes to the other side. The Gamecock tying him up and clearing it out off Gibson's stick. Vikulov is down there against Edestrand. Here's Cashman on the left side. It misses Marcotte. Gamecock up on the left wing. Cashman blocked it. He keeps it in. There's a pass in front. And a Russian seems to be there every time in front of that net. Alexandrov, he's in over the line with that head fake, and he loses it. Edestrand twisting and turning from the corner, down on the right side, rolled it ahead, and Shepard finally picks it up. Gives it to Cashman. Cashman to Busick. Here's Busick with Shepard, and this time Vasiliev was there with his stick. Vikulov on the right wing. Follows up and steers it in. Here's Busick trying to center that. They're getting it out there, but it's cleared. Here's Shepard getting it by, and it went by Cashman. Harlamov in over the line. Harlamov into the slot position. Vikulov missed it. Brad Park taking his time. He spun around, and a penalty coming up. Lukov is going off. Gilbert is out of the net. He's flipped off for a hooking.
Game 6 of Super Series 76 is coming to you live from Boston.
If you want your kids to learn to save, take a tip from us. Scotia Bank makes saving fun. Here's something to discuss. Hockey College Savings Account. You can everybody grow with us.
Learn about Scotiabank Hockey College at the Bank of Nova Scotia. It's a grown-up idea just for kids.
Come on, everybody, grow with us.
Schluchtov off for hooking, and Danny, we regret, we understand we're having some audio problems. We're trying to get that rectified as quickly as possible.
I'm jinxed here. I was here for a radio game a month ago, and we had an audio problem.
I can't hear you, Dan.
In any case, Hodge shoots it right up. They score!
Rattel on the rebound. Rattel gets the Bruins back in the hockey game with 2:29 left, Bill.
Great play here. Kenny Hodge. He gets on the ice for one chip, makes a great shot. The rebound is there, and Ratty is right there to poke her home. A beautiful. Right here, watch. At number 5, Vasiliev, is it? He skated away from Rattel instead of taking a pass.
You mentioned before the power play started that the Bruins had stopped shooting that puck.
Right.
Hodge got a good one there.
He let it go pretty well.
So now coming in is Savard, and it's offside. 2:21 left in the second period, and it's a one-goal differential.
Maybe I'll pick the Bruins up now that they'll stop with a little bit of chippiness and get back to playing hockey.
From the Garden in Boston, Super Series 76.
It's older than I am. It takes all my money, too. Yeah, that's why I buy at the Esso Self-Serve. Saves money.
I like the Esso Self-Serve stations with an automatic car wash. And so do the kids.
Well, you know, these days one must be cautious with one's money. But some Esso Self-Serve stations do have excellent service facilities. Oh, James, will you arrange for a tune-up? I believe it's missing on the 3rd cylinder.
We're working to keep you moving.
Face off on the center ice side of that red line toward Boston territory. Now a chopping high shot by O'Reilly. He centers it. Knocked down by Dallas Smith. Smith now chasing it toward the corner behind the net for Ford. He goes to the other side against Volchenkov. Now O'Reilly centering it. And behind the net it goes. O'Reilly still with it. Out it comes to Ford. He shoots it in there. And Kuzkin's cleared it. Popoff rolled it out over the line. O'Reilly back to Dallas Smith. The Soviets, the 3, the Bruins 2. Olchenkov to Popov. Back it goes to Solidukin. Solidukin playing it to the point, kept in by Forbes. This line works tremendously hard for Boston. Savard, O'Reilly, and Forbes. Now it's down the ice, Eddestrand after it. And they go back into Soviet territory for the faceoff.
That goal by Rattel has brought the Bruins back to life after they showed signs of starting to collapse a little bit. The goal by Harlamov, the second one, when Cashman took that rather unnecessary slash at Mikhailov. I grant you it was unnecessary. Mikhailov may have been acting for a while. It looked like it might take Marcus Welby's magic hands to revive that young man, but suddenly a few seconds later he was back on there.
Bruins, everybody up. Gold chases it, cleared it to the corner. Luchenko failed to clear it out. Here's Cashman shooting it, and it's off the corner board. Starting out over the line. Vikulov ahead to Alexandrov, cutting in, takes the shot, and a good quick save by Gilbert. Cashman clearing it over to Busick, back for Cashman in over the Soviet line, going after Luchenko. Zagankov knocked it out to Vikulov. Vikulov over the line, and his shot went off Duke over the glass.
52 seconds left, and in our intermission, our second intermission, Howie Meeker will be back to talk about the series with Dave Hodge. Bill Good will be along to talk with Carol Vadnais. You know him, don't you, Phil? And Howie Meeker will have special highlights from this game, a great game it's been from the Boston Garden.
And for this face-off, deep in Boston territory, there you're looking at Maltsev, who got that third goal for the Soviets. He's between Harlamov and Mikhailov. The defense playing up. Park has it. Park takes his time. He's a smoothie. Gives it to Dallas Smith. Smith along the boards. He's checked by Mikhailov. Rattel is looking on. Smith has it. Now Harlamov. Maltsev trying to get it in front. Rattel to the left side to Marcotte to Rattel. He shoots it to the corner. Spots in there after Gusev. Now he has 22 seconds left. Puck in the center ice area. Rattel took that pass offside from Park. And Park did not like that delayed call.
Well, I don't know whether it was offside. I don't think it was. I think the puck didn't come out of the blue line. But the one thing I noticed out here right now is that Marcotte is just staying right with Mikhailov in this play here, on this particular shift.
Vasiliev deep in his own zone. Mikhailov up on the left side. Gusev doing some skating in his own zone. Rattel doing the forechecking. And that's the end of the second period. 5 goals in the period. Soviets getting 3 of them. Who got the other 2?
You can see that the shots on goal after 2 periods of play. Boston Bruins 27. The Red Army team 13. Bruins took 8 in that period. Soviets 5. Live from the Boston Garden Super Series 76.
There's just one place for me near you. It's like heaven to be near you. Times when we're apart, I can't face my heart. Say you'll never stray more than just a call away. If my hours could be spent near you, I'd be more than content near you. Make my life worthwhile by telling me that I'll spend the rest of my days near you.
When you can't get together, you can still get the feeling, the long-distance feeling. The Roaring 20s, and Imperial Oil introduces ethyl gasoline to eliminate engine knock. The 50s, the car is part of our lifestyle, and improved SO Extra helps complicated engines run smoothly. Today's world means smaller cars and special lead-free gasolines like SO 2000 unleaded. SO Research, working to keep you moving.
2 goals by Harlamov, 1 by Maltsev, and the Bruin goals came from Forbes and Rattel, 3-2 for the Central Army. Howie Meeker, we'd like to go back to last night in Chicago and show the fans some highlights of the game between the Wings of the Soviet and the Blackhawks. And either the Buffalo win was a big surprise or last night's Chicago loss was. I don't know what. It's really tough to figure this series out by looking at just one game. We're going to look at the Chicago highlights and tell us how you saw them.
Well, here, it's just extraordinary. Now, watch. Here, the Russians break tradition. They're playing with a man advantage. Now, the top of the box, the 2 Boston players don't come out quick enough. Now, this is Tirin with the puck, and look at him move in and let it go, and look at the man in front of the net screening Esposito. I don't think Tony had a chance on it, but they just let him in a little too deep. Now, here they are again playing 4 again. No, this is Dick Redmond's goal, and look at that check there. Now, watch this shot. Sedelnikov, I think, just caught a little bit on that one. He was out pretty far, but it had to be a heck of a shot or it had to be deflected. Now, here's the Russians playing 4-on-4, and watch Kapustin, how they get the puck to the man in the slot. Who said they can't shoot the puck? Look at that. Just on a stick and off. But certainly they get in the middle of the box. Now, here they're 5-on-3. 2 men short. Watch them pass the puck around and again get it to the man in the slot. Now, the Russians would be playing 2 men out and 1 man back, and I think this is the problem on that goal there. Just they had the inverted triangle. Now, Liepkin gets one here, and once again it's on a power play. Watch them work the puck around, and they'll bring it right here to the bottom part of the screen. Watch this pass. Now, look at the man. Look at the Russian in front of the net hole. Look, grabs right onto the stick. No way the defenseman's going to get away. And he shot the puck extremely well. But it's amazing how they get that puck to the man in the open. Here, the puck comes up to Makita. Now, he'll make just a great pass to Hull. Watch this, right there to Dennis. And the goalkeeper, Sedelnikov, plays it perfect. He comes right out, is solid, but puts it in off the post. Just a heck of a shot.
Okay, I'm going to ask you, how do you figure it out that Buffalo can handle them so easily they can come right back and beat Chicago?
I think they got smart. Certainly, well, Buffalo has to have a better hockey club. There's no doubt about it. They're a good skating club, and I think Buffalo has the necessary talent, really. And I would think they'd have a little more desire playing in Buffalo with Canadians and coast-to-coast television in Canada. And they got better goaltending, too.
Okay, thank you very much to Howie Meeker. Super Series 76 continues in just a moment.
Gleaming, glistening, sparkling clean dishes, and more. That's what Sunlight Liquid promises. Because Sunlight has the freshness of real, natural lemon. And in today's ever-changing world, Sunlight is still sensibly priced. Clean dishes, natural lemon, and sensible price. Only Sunlight promises all 3.
News. The 1976 Radio Shack catalog is hot off the press. Over 160 pages of top-quality electronic products, cassette players and recorders, Citizens Band radios, antennas, and much more. Today's news is value, and that's what you'll find inside the new Radio Shack catalog. Behind this cover is a whole world of quality electronic equipment at prices that make it easy to afford. Pick up your new catalog at your Radio Shack store today and read all about it.
Carol Vadnais comes back to Boston, and I thought your old club started to get a little rattled in that second period. Were you worried about them?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. When you play the Russian, you have to be in the tremendous shape and all that. We had the example against Montreal. Montreal went ahead 3-1, and those guys don't panic. They just, they just play the same pattern of play they're supposed to play. And, I think we get carried away a little bit too often. Instead of just settle down, just play the way they were playing before. They kind of get up, you get upset a little bit. A few calls, I think there should have been called against them, penalty-wise, and the referee don't happen to call them. I think, mentally it affects you a little bit.
On the other hand, that's almost ironic because it's usually going the other way, and the Bruins were getting away with quite a bit at points during that game before things got a little out of hand with both Gilbert and Cashman, and Gilbert actually got away with it. Well, Gilbert, I couldn't believe that one, the one Gilly did there. I didn't know why he did that, but the one with Cashman was, you get upset a little bit after they score a goal because you have to say they caused a lot of interference with Gilbert on that goal. They just carried him right off the net. But I don't think I put on a good act a little bit there. Mikhailov, I think it was 30 seconds after he's back on the ice. I mean, I just saw him drop. I was sitting right there behind the net. He kind of looked at the referee and just collapsed there. I mean, temper gets hot a little bit. And I think we get a little advantage when we got one of our own referee.
Okay, what about Jean Rattel? That had to be a very big goal for the Bruins. I think that's going to set up the period, the third period. If the Bruins could get that next goal, that could be a 4-3 victory, I think, for the Bruins.
Yeah, you must have been disappointed with the showing the Rangers made against the Soviets.
Well, what happened is, we just kind of stood on the ice and watched them play all night. Instead of going and play our own period. The third period, I thought we played a fairly good period, and we went in there and forechecked them. I think at the beginning, well, the score was, 5-1, 4-1. We just look at them. They just keep coming at us, instead of just go and hit the forecheck. I think they got a little weakness there. If our teams decide to forecheck them, I think they can throw the puck away. They're looking. When Cashman comes on the ice and decides he's going to nail one, I'm sitting right there behind the board, and they're watching. They know Cashman's coming.
Okay, as a defenseman, can you tell me what it is about the Soviet style, or what it is they do that when they come down, either one man on a goaltender or a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-2, that their accuracy is really quite incredible?
You see, one thing they do so good is they drop the puck very well. They usually break out fast. You got to be careful with that. You're trying to stand in there, and the first thing you know, they got a puck up the ice, and then you got a 3-on-2. And then when they got a 3-on-2, they try to send one guy. They drop a guy behind. Their two forwards just take the two defensemen, and then it's a complete one-on-one, one against the goalie most of the time.
From a defenseman's point of view, are they tougher to play than most NHL clubs?
I think they're tougher because they don't panic. They just don't throw the puck away. On a 3-on-2, they make sure they got a real good shot. If they don't have a shot, very seldom they won't have a shot. Brad Park made a hell of a play. You stop one there, took a dive and all that. But I think they're tough. On the 3-on-2, I think they practice a lot. They just don't panic. They just make sure they got a well-set play. Whoever's, who's carrying the puck or something, is no one is going to drop the puck. And they usually have a pretty good shot.
It's an exercise in the fundamentals of hockey. Will NHL teams try to pick up anything from the Soviets? Will they try and learn from them?
I'll tell you one thing, they picked up a lot from us, but right now we could look at their play. I mean, they don't throw the puck away. They're really disciplined. I think it's the main thing. Philadelphia is pretty disciplined in Long Island. Islanders, if you could tell right now, I think that's what's the biggest part of it. If you don't panic and you're just disciplined, you're set to play certain type of hockey, you just play it. Just stay the way you're supposed to be.
Carol, thank you very much. It's going to be a very interesting third period. In just a moment, Howie Meeker with some highlights from that second period, and we'll return with Super Series 76 in just a moment.
Where can you win $1 million cash tax-free? Olympic Lottery Canada. There are 3 prizes of $1 million each, 3 of $1/2 million, and 3 of $1/4 million in the ABC series. 36 grand prizes and a possible 90,000 winners sharing almost $28.5 million total prize money in the 7th draw. So buy your tickets today. Win $1 million cash tax-free. Make your dreams a reality.
Thanks. Want a coffee?
Sure.
You can take it through there.
Good. Hey, it's decaffeinated.
Brim, made to be decaffeinated from a specially developed blend of fine coffee beans to give you rich, hearty coffee flavor.
Barbara, you make a great cup of coffee.
Brim, flavor so good, you've got to read the label to know it's decaffeinated.
I'll give you my interpretation of what happened in that period. The Soviets, we know they can get rattled in their own zone, but they have Tretiak, and they don't always get scored upon when they give up the puck. I thought the Bruins started to run around a little bit, and you cannot do that. You just have to maintain more poise than they show in their own zone to beat them.
No doubt about it. I think Carl Badney put it very, very well. You have to maintain your cool. And certainly if you take foolish penalties, everybody said it, and they do get to you. There's no doubt about it. But if you give them that little bit of edge, we're competitive, at times more than competitive, but we can't afford to give them an edge. If you earn a penalty, great, but, hey, it's a heck of a hockey game.
Okay, let's look at some of the highlights.
Yeah, look at here now. This is just what Carl said. Now watch the Russian has the puck. Now look at, he's not so smart. He just throws it out through the center, and who's there but a Bruin? And it took a good shot. I kind of think it was deflected. But certainly Tretiak put his foot out, it hit the inside of his foot and went in behind him. But there again, the Russian gave us the puck.
It's probably as physical a game, or more physical a game, than we've seen so far in this series, and that leads to penalties, of course, but it can also affect the actual game.
Well, hey, watch this one along the boards, Dave. Oh, this will give you some idea of the tough checking that's going on. Now, just watch here. O'Reilly and Volchenkov. Look at along the boards. Look at these fellas fight. And O'Reilly keeps it in. Look at this. Not often you see a Russian, hey, that tough. Really now, I look at back in the corner again, Savard. And it's not often you see Savard check like that. Look at this. And this is going on all night. Tough checking within the rules. That's got to be the greatest game in the world when you play it like that.
Well, the Bruins would have to like it played like that. I mean, that's kind of their style. They don't have a lot of polish anymore without Phil Esposito and Bobby Orr. They have to work for everything they get. And so they like that style, but they were a little sloppy in the middle part of the period, and it hurt.
Oh, it's going to kill them. It's going to kill them. Hey, but we got another one for you. Just show you what good, solid forechecking is. And I think Phil Esposito mentioned that Savard, O'Reilly, and Forbes. It's this series again. Now watch how they keep on top the puck carrier, and watch how they finish the check. And look at the number of times the Russians get it and give it away. Look at the Russian there gave it to a Canadian, or gave it to a Boston player. Throws it in the middle, just missed. Now look at here, look at him look over his shoulder. He just got rid of it. He wasn't giving it to anybody at all. Now watch here again. Here's the pitter-patter little feet. The Boston player comes up with it. And time after time, we're getting good scoring chances. But I think, Dave, more than anything else, we're going to have to put some of them in. We just can't miss as many good chances as we had and expect to win.
It's amazing as you show those highlights how often the Savard line is included. When they're on the ice, they just totally bottle up the Soviets. But again, they're not a big scoring line. So I think you've hit the key right there. It's 3-2 for the Central Army over the Bruins with 20 minutes of play remaining. From Boston Garden, this is Super Series 76.
If you have some old-fashioned ideas about Kostetny, just give us 20 minutes of your time, and we'll bring you up to date. And we'll show you how one of our systems will save enough money to pay for all the copying equipment you really need. Call us. We're in the phone book.
With 20 minutes of hockey ahead of us, again, we ask the question of Phil Esposito, what to look for in the third period, Phil?
Well, I think that you're going to look for, I think we should look for the Bruins. I'm afraid that they're going to start getting a little bit chippy. I hope not, because if they start getting penalties, but the way it looked at the end of that second period, or just in the middle, that they were starting to get a little chippy and starting to get frustrated, and they were starting to run at the Russians. And if they run at them and get stupid penalties, man, they're going to be in for a long night.
I want to bring up the penalty to Cashman because really he could have taken a 5-minute penalty for intent to injure there when Mikhailov went down. The fact that Mikhailov got up quickly, made a marvelous recovery, really didn't have much to do with it. It was a kind of a vicious slash against Mikhailov. And
well, you know, Brian, let me say this, that you're right. I don't think it was just, but in the NHL we have an unwritten rule that if your goaltender is touched, you protect him at all costs. Now, Mikhailov skated through the crease, grabbed Gilbert, and sort of knocked him down. And then after the goal was scored, Cash was really frustrated, and he did a stupid thing. But, I mean, this goes back from a long time, too, believe me, that Cash owed him one. Let's put it that way.
Okay, Phil, we're almost set to play. Let's go back to Danny Gallivan.
And the score, 3-2 for the Soviets. Harlamov with 2 goals, Maltsev with 1, and for the Bruins, Forbes and Rattel. And it's going to be Rattel going to center for Boston, Marcotte on the left side, and Schmatz on the right wing. And for the Soviets, Shliptov, Alexandrov, and Vikulov. Now play is underway. Luchenko in his own zone, dropped it on the boards for Shluptov. Here's Schmatz with it, and he fired it to the far side from the sharp angle. Off the boards, down the ice it goes. Gilbert clearing it, Vikulov. Shluptov missed that pass, and Schmatz cleared it to the corner. Vikulov rammed in on the boards, taken out of the play by Dallas Smith, and Park starts out. Park coming up on the left side. Park is in on the line. He shoots at a big save there by Tretiak. A brilliant play by Park. Bang, bang all the way. Vikulov to Alexandrov. He missed it. It's centered. There's the shot. They score! The Gamecocks on that long shot from the blue line. And it happens all the time. When the goalie comes up with a big save in the other end, the other team comes back and scores.
How many times have we seen that happen in hockey? Here it is here. First off, a good drop pass. He actually missed it, and he just turned around and wheeled it right out in front of him, straight back to the point. And he just beat Joe. That was it.
4-2 the score now. Red Army in front of the Boston Bruins after Brad Park, when down ice, made a fine play. Might have passed over to Forbes on it. They failed to score. Red Army came right back and got their fourth goal.
Gusev clearing it on the left side. Down the ice it goes. That's Edestrand after it, being watched by Mikhailov. Harlamov on the other side, working it along the boards, taken out the play by Edestrand. Shepard's pass failed to click. Mikhailov back into his own zone, hands it off. Maltsev, a good move against Busick. Passing it back. Harlamov trying to get it. Now it's picked up by Maltsev. He lost it as shot. Gusev's shot hit Doak. Another shot, a high by Gusev. What are you doing here, Brian? You're spilling stuff.
This little spilled ink or spilled milk.
That shot there really, I think, could hurt Doak. That shot could have hurt Doak. It just about got him in the face. Wow. That never ceases to amaze me, really, defensemen, how they could drop in front of the puck like that.
Wouldn't you like to play defense?
No,
never.
I'll
Tell you, one defenseman out there that's played a great game is Vasilyev, Danny.
He's been a take-charge fellow out there, a real general in front of Tretiak. Forbes shooting it in. Now O'Reilly corrals it on the boards. Here's O'Reilly around the net. Gusev is after him. They both go down. Puck is cleared ahead to Harlamov. Harlamov hitting the line. Back checking was Savard. Harlamov cleared it in. Now Doak, a pass, and it's off Savard's stick into the corner. Vasilyev knocked to the ice by Forbes. Doak keeping it in. Harlamov to Mikhailov. Savard is watching him. Soviets leading the Bruins 4-2 in the third period, and we have 2 minutes and 6 seconds. Here's O'Reilly coming back with Forbes, who takes it on the left side. Forbes passing it back. Here's Brad Park going in. Park takes the shot, and he flashes it wide. Savard along the boards. Gusev passing it to Popov, and he cleared it into the center ice area. Dallas Smith gently tipped it in on the left side. Vasilyev to Gusev ahead. Volchkov flashed it over the line. Schmott to Park up on the left side. Now back on the right wing. Schmott couldn't pick it up as it came off the board. Popov turning with Volchkov is on the right side. There's the pass to Volchkov, and it's offside.
From the Boston Garden, Super Series 76.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Jones. TV Records presents the Tom Jones 10th Anniversary Album, a fabulous collector's edition. The Great Tom Jones Hits. On 2 records, only $7.99. 2 8-track tapes, $10.99. From TV Records. Available at participating outlets.
Good look at all the sticks along that Soviet bench. Let's get back to the face-off and the play, Danny.
Face-off in the center ice area. Volchkov clearing it in. Soviets 4, Bruins 2 in the third period. Here is Park, bringing it out over the line. Comes to the left wing. Now he dashes in over the Soviet line into the corner. His pass goes off Kuzkin's stick. Popov is belted by Park. Now here's Rattel trying to get it in front. And Kuzkin cleared it to the other side. Kuzkin playing it into the center ice area. Dallas Smith turning at his own line. At center to the right side. And it went off Volchenko's stick. Popov to Volchkov. He's in over the line, dropping it back. Now Marcotte wheeling back with Rattel. Rattel is over the line. Passing it back to Marcotte. He tried to get it in front. Kuzkin after it. It's back to the line and into the center ice area. Gary Doak winding it along the boards to the other side. Marcotte flashed it against Kuzkin, and it went over the glass.
And Don Cherry, rather concerned at this point in the hockey game with 15:58 left to play. Soviet Red Army 4, Boston 2.
You know, one of the things that the Russians do that we do, or don't do, they never give the puck away, and the other teams don't, and we do.
Now Forbes getting it out of the point. Gibson shoots it. Another shot, loose puck in front of the net. Hodge takes the shot. Tretiak is down.
Hodge got the shot up, but not quite high enough, and not quite into the corner of the net, right at Tretiak. Close call there for the Bruins.
When you're that close to O'Brien, I don't think you really have time to look. You just have to shoot it as quick as you can.
Well, you seem to find the openings when you shoot them, Phil.
Bruins, everybody up. Hodge playing it in for Gibson. He's against the Gankov. Now Hodge takes the Gankov in on the boards. They struggle for possession. Hodge still going after. Great work by Hodge. Back to Doak. Doak takes the shot. And he's 3 or 4 feet wide. Let's see. We're going to have penalty or penalties here. Hodge is going to go off, I think.
Might be 2 of them, Danny. Number 6 may go as well. Tonight's game is coming to you from the Garden in Boston.
The difference between Wilkinson sword bonded and its imitators. This is one difference, the smoothest loading, but it's not the essential difference. This is the Wilkinson Edge, the superb cutting edge perfected by generations of Wilkinson craftsmanship in steel. You can't buy that from anyone else except Wilkinson sword bonded.
Number 6. See if we can catch it here, Dan and Phil. Number 6 and Hodge. 2 minutes. Gankov and Hodge. The penalties there.
And look at him. He's all over Hodge. Really.
Boston penalty to number 8.
Here's a shot from the point by Sims. Vasiliev couldn't clear it against Forbes. Gibson goes in there. Back to Park over the other side. Here's Sims going in for the shot. Loose puck in front of the net after Tretiak had made another brilliant save. Nikulov fires it wide. Now it comes to the line. Vasiliev back into Nikulov. Nikulov passing it toward the corner. Zluktov watching Sims carefully. Teams are playing 5 aside. The Bruins, Gibson starting out. Ahead to Forbes. He's upended by Vasiliev. A solid check, and he's quite a defenseman, no question.
Excellent defenseman, right, Phil? Vasiliev, number 5.
He's one of the good hip checkers that I've seen in a game of hockey, that's for sure. He lines you up and he hits you pretty well with it.
He's got a little cut over that eye, too. Again, here's the check.
The hip check there.
Cashman back at his own line. Sims giving it off to Park. Park back to Sims into the center ice area. Mikhailov played it to Harlamov. Back to Mikhailov. And he rolls it into his own zone. Big Gusev. Playing it out. He almost put it right on the stick of Shepard. However, Harlamov is down with Mikhailov. And it's broken up. Here's Brad Park. Back for Boston. Park over the line. Park still with it. Park clearing it into the corner. Now Sims playing it behind the net. Cashman missed it. On the left side. Gusev over to Mikhailov. He's back into the center ice area. And we have a half-minute remaining in the penalties. To Hodge and to Gankov. Harlamov. Neat pass to Vasiliev. Coming down, clearing it in. It hits Sims. Shepard hands it off to Brad Park. 13 minutes and 42 seconds left in the third period. The Soviets leading by 2. Here's Cashman back in over the Soviet line. Back to Shepard. A high shot off Tretiak's right arm. Now Mikhailov behind the net. Cashman watching him. Vasiliev. A neat pass to Gankov. Harlamov in over the line. Mikhailov going in, and he shot it along the ice just wide. Here's Hodge back into the center ice area. Fired it. And blocking was Tretiak. Hodge playing a great game for Boston. Here's the bird. He's upended. And the crowd holler for a penalty on that. Hodge playing a very aggressive game. Zagankov is bodied by Hodge. Here's Savard. Neatly, he goes to the right side. Savard over the line. The shot. Tretiak with it. Now along the boards. Here's O'Reilly centering it. And Gusev starts up the pass to Popov. Popov over the line. Blocked. He gets the rebound. A weak shot wide on the backhand. Now the Bruins. Savard into the center ice area. O'Reilly has it. Then had to go back for it. And he hands it off to Doak. Doak ahead to Nowak. He was checked by Kuzkin. Cleared it in again. And Kuzkin returned it back into the center ice area. Nowak. Ahead to O'Reilly. O'Reilly swings over to the left side. Played it in. And Kuzkin knocked it out. 4-2, the Soviets in the lead here in the third period. They struggle at close quarters. Volchenkov at the line. Volkov turning back. Now Volkov is upended by Savard. A solid shot just inside the Soviet line. Now a clearing pass. Hits Savard. Dallas Smith ahead to Nowak. Into Savard. Here's Savard shooting it to the short side. Kuzkin took it in on the board. O'Reilly has it along the boards against Solodukin. Nowak goes in there too, and the play is stopped.
And again, we check the shots on goal. To this point, Boston 35, Red Army 14. Red Army's had only one shot in this period, the Bruins 7.
There's Bobby.
There's Bobby. They need him out there.
I wish he was playing, I'll tell you.
Well, Phil, this is a game that certainly not indicative of the ability of the team.
No, you can't, because the Russians, every time they get a shot, they make it count.
Now Luchenko. Vikulov. Now it's Luchenko again, circling back. Hands it off to Shrupkov. He gives it to Vikulov. Ran into Markov. Justin's chasing it. There's Alexandrov. He scores! All out clear by the Bruins, and you can't give that little fella number 11, Alexandrov, an opportunity like that.
Yeah, let's give credit where it's due. This Alexandrov has just been sensational, Phil.
Right there, it's really it's a mistake by Al. Al makes a mistake there, and they score a goal. Watch, he has the puck. Now he's uncertain what to do, and you know what? I mean, he made a mistake, but here's a kid that hasn't been playing regular. He's out on the ice against the Russians. He's nervous, and he makes a mistake, and they score a goal.
And now it is 5-2. The Soviets leading by 3. Schmott at his own line. Comes down on the right wing. Hits the Soviet line. He was upended. Now Schmott going down again. Let's see. Player injured.
I can't...
Who is
number 6? That's
Zagankov,
who scored the goal earlier in the period, then took a penalty with Hodge. This is Super Series 76 from the Garden in Boston.
Tom McKee here for CBC Television Sports in the 1976 Olympics. We'll be bringing you coverage of every event every day at the 1976 Games. Thousands of athletes taking part from most of the nations around the world. You'll have an opportunity to see their best against our best. And you can watch it all right here on CBC, your Olympic network.
You know, that's what you call under frustration. Schmutzy went in and gave him a real good, hard, high stick, cross-check, whatever you want it. And that's just because they're frustrated. Watch this.
There's Schmott.
First he gets knocked down there. Yep. Now he's really angry. He just goes right in, high sticks him. No doubt about a penalty. None.
So Schmott in the penalty box. Harlamov. He scored the first 2 goals for the Soviets in this one. Headmans the puck to Maltsev. Harlamov picking it up. He bounces into the center ice area. Over the line, offside, is number 8, Maltsev.
Oh, that's a pretty line to watch, though, the way they break out of their own zone and That's just remarkable, that puck control.
You know, when Petrov wasn't playing, I thought they'd be. I thought that this line wouldn't be as effective, but I remember that these three guys played together in '72.
And that Petrov is my kind of hockey player.
I like him too. I really do.
He's a beautiful hockey player.
So 10-10 left in the third period. 5-2 for the Soviets. Brad Park in Soviet territory. Mikhailov. Gusev ahead to Harlamov. Harlamov doing some fancy cavorting in there over the line. Centering away to Boom! And Maltsev was robbed there by Gilbert. Wasn't that a thing of beauty, the way they passed that around? Now into the center ice area. Here's Forbes back in over the line. Cutting in. Forbes is stopped by Vasiliev. Shepard was upended by Harlamov. Here's Brad Park. Park shoots it off toward the corner. Vasiliev playing it ahead to Mikhailov. And we have 43 seconds left in the penalty. Mikhailov with Maltsev. Mikhailov is upended by Edderstrand, and he went flying to the air. He does this with a great deal of flourish. Now the Soviets, a fake pass by Gusev. Now he gets it to Vikulov into the center ice area to the right side. Gluktov has it. Gluktov giving it to Luchenko. A shot and a leg save by Gilbert. Luchenko another shot, and he hit Edderstrand in front. Edderstrand clearing it out to Gankov, to Alexandrov, over to Vikulov. Back it goes to Shchutkov into the corner. Now Schmaltz is back on the ice. The Gankov losing it to Savard, and Shchutkov was there to take over for the Soviets. So the Soviets, with 8:23 left in the third period, have that 3-goal cushion, 5-2. And they are pretty much in command right here. Shchutkov at the line. Now here's Savard in the center ice area. Good move by Savard to get by Popov. Then he's taken out of the play by Luchenko, who fell. The Gankov coming out with Doladukin, who sweeps away from Savard. Got away from Marcotte. Doladukin shooting it in. Arms it off the board. Volkov is out there now. Doladukin along the board, struggling with Gibson. And it is Edderstrand. He plays it to the right side. Here's Schmutz. Marcotte is on the left wing. Edderstrand takes the pass. And it's called on the offside.
7:33 left. Remaining in the third period, the score is the Soviet Red Army 5, the Boston Bruins 2.
Gin. At least let it look like water.
That I challenge the right honorable gentleman to the combat!
Well, it's very evident I hit the sore spot.
It'll take more than gin and oratory to save John A. on episode 2 of The National Dream, The Pacific Scandal.
Sunday night on CBC.
It is Hodge on the right side, Gibson at center, Cashman on the other wing. Doladukin out with Volkov and Popov. Now Hodge. Hodge working off the boards, the angle almost impossible. Now Gibson at the point, keeping it in. Here's Gibson, working it in there. Cashman a shot to the short side. Kuzkin plays it out over the line, and Brad Park takes over. Park back in his own zone, into the center ice area, cleared it to the corner. Volchenkov in there to take over for the Soviets. Popov couldn't get it. They jam in on the board. Now Hodge after it into the corner. Cashman is going after Volchenkov. Here's Hodge again. Hodge goes to the other side. He centered it, and it goes off Tretiak's stick. Popov works to the line, lost it. He gets it again. Doladukin down in over the line. He took a stick across the right arm. Now Popov playing it back to Gusev. Mikhailov on the ice. Here comes Harlamov and Maltsev. And that is the line, the ever dangerous line for the Soviets. Now Gusev playing it to Harlamov. Doak took a slash at it. Now in over the line. Forbes trying to set up a Hodge. Vasiliev is roughed up on the board by Hodge. It's passed back, and the Soviets break out. Harlamov over to Maltsev. Mikhailov is getting in front. It goes to the far wing, and O'Reilly ahead to Forbes. Forbes over the line. There's the shot. Forbes scored on a fairly long shot for the first goal of the game early in the second period. Now Harlamov against Rattel. It's loose. Maltsev to Gusev, and the Russians just passing it back and forth. And it's flicked into the air by Vasiliev. 5:13 left in the hockey game. Soviets 5 and the Bruins 2. And of late, there has not been an indication that the Soviets are going to crack. Here's Alexandrov passing it toward the corner. In there goes O'Reilly. Alexandrov stops it. He centered it high into the air, and Gilbert gets it.
4:51 on the clock. As you say, they're not going to crack. Game 6 of Super Series 76 is coming to you live from Boston.
If you're planning for the future, you can roll with us. We can help your dreams along. Come on with us, 'cause we have a plan for you to make it all come true. Come on, everybody, grow with us.
Even though Scotia Plan loans make borrowing easy, the Bank of Nova Scotia tries not to let you borrow beyond your means.
Come on, everybody, grow with us.
A reminder again that the final game in this series is Sunday, January 11th, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you, Phil Esposito. He's got a plane to catch, and he's done a great job for us here tonight, Danny.
If the Soviets win this one, they will have won the series, am I right? That will be the 4th victory, and in that a tie has crept into the scheme of things with 2 games remaining. There's a good pass to Shepard, but it's knocked off his stick by Lutchenko. Dallas Smith ahead to Busick. Busick over the line, and Sagankov got in front of it. Brad Park to Cashman. And this is Soviet wherever the Bruins move. Here's Vikulov coming in on the right side. Dallas Smith in there to cover up and take over for the Bruins. Dallas Smith having difficulty. Now Shluktoff works his way into the corner. Alexandrov is belted by Shepard. Bruins starting out on the right side. Cashman shooting it in. Sagankov playing it ahead out over the line. Dallas Smith ahead to Busick. Alexandrov shoots it in over the line. And we have 3 minutes and 45 seconds left in the hockey game. And as far as this capacity Boston crowd is concerned, I think for this game, most of their entertainment came in the first period. It was a bristling first period. Bristling action all the way. Now, Volkov down in on the right side against Edestrand. Edestrand ahead to Busick. Busick comes to center. He's checked by Solidukin. Busick still with it. Gives it to Savard. A shot. Here's Savard again. And he flicked a harmless shot actually to the side that Tretiak got.
From the Garden in Boston, Super Series 76.
The new Ford Pinto Pony MPG. Specially designed for less weight and with limited options, the Pinto Pony MPG was rated at 45.2 miles per gallon highway, 29.8 miles per gallon city in U.S. EPA tests. These are EPA estimates for simulated driving conditions. The actual mileage you get may be different. Pinto Pony MPG, an example of the dramatic fuel economy improvements engineered into Ford's 76 car lines. For good cars at good prices, your Ford dealer is there.
And the big clock over center ice at the Garden shows the time remaining 3:10. The period is the third. 5-2 for the Soviets. Doak takes the shot right on. Rebound. Tretiak seemed to be partially screened on that. Now Doak again fired it. And a stick above the shoulder made contact apparently And the Bruins did not like that call, Brian.
I don't think you can complain too much about the officiating here tonight, Danny. Sure, we were all concerned about Dombrowski and his lack of experience, perhaps, and the fact that he might step down very hard, but I think all in all, he's done a creditable job here tonight.
Now, let's say this, the Soviets are not winning the game in the deficiency of officiating.
There's a shot, the sharp angle. Now it's Doak keeping it in. Doak going after it again. Maltsev out over the line. Feeds it ahead to Harlamov. Harlamov a shot, and it was blocked by Edestrand. He cleared it up on the left side. Rattel over the line, gives it to Marcotte, to Schmott. Here's Schmott, making a good move, has to chase it to the corner. Schmott ran into the official. Rattel looking for it. Mikhailov coming out. Over on the right side to Maltsev. Back to Mikhailov. Into Harlamov. He jammed it on the backhand. And it went off Edestrand in front of the net. Now puck back into the center ice area. Marcotte coming down to the line. He's over the line on the backhand. Centering it. Gressiak knocked it away. It's kept in by Marcotte. Here's Rattel over to Schmott, and his shot was a rising shot 3 or 4 feet over the top of the net. Soviets shoot it down the ice, and it's icing against the Army team. 1:43 left.
Danny, the Soviets said they came here to learn from our best professionals, and from what I've seen tonight, they don't have many more lessons on the slate, because I think they could hand out a few the way they've been playing hockey here tonight.
Indeed. The students could become the professor.
Right.
Now into the center ice area. Vikilov. Lukov has it. He circles, takes the shot, and he's Gilbert. Got in front of it, and now the shot's on goal. 39 for Boston, 18 for the Soviets.
Some of those Bruin shots, a little off target. The others that were on Tretiak, he did a tremendous job at stopping.
And most of the Soviet shots have been really tough shots. Now Nowak is stopped. He goes back into the center ice area, cleared it in. And many of this capacity crowd of 15,003 beginning to head toward the exit with 1 minute and 14 seconds left in the third period. Now, on Saturday, it will be another international game. The Islanders against the
Soviet Wings.
And the Wings made a great comeback after that hammering in Buffalo to win last night in Chicago. Dallas Smith in behind the net. Gibson is turning on the left wing. He takes the pass. Gibson out over the line. Ahead to Nowak. Now Gibson carries on. His shot, he shot that with the puck on in. And it went over the glass. 58 seconds left in the hockey game.
Well, Danny, this Boston Bruin club came into this game tonight totally prepared. If they were not in condition, if they had a wealth of injuries, if they were not really up for the game, but that was not the case. This Bruin team played as fine a game of hockey, I think, tonight as they are probably capable of playing through this season. But the Soviet Red Army Club was just a little too much for them in almost every department.
The Bruins period, of course, despite the fact they didn't get a goal, I think was in that first period. They ran into Tretiak. He was very, very hot. Now here's Park coming in. Pass intercepted by Vasiliev. Ahead to center. Dallas Smith to Hodge. Hodge over the line. Gusev is after him. Hodge around the net. Now Nowak in the corner. Centered it. Gibson waited too long. Right in front. A shot by Gibson. But it didn't have much on it. And Tretiak was there. 26 seconds left. Right down the ice it goes. Gilbert to Dallas Smith. And the Bruins will have to hustle to get another offensive effort into operation, see if they can get another goal. That's about all that matters right now. Gibson in over the line. The Soviets break it up. Dallas Smith clearing it in. 5 seconds. Vasiliev, an outstanding performer tonight. Ahead to Mikhailov. And the game is over. Soviets 5 and the Boston Bruins 2.
There's the hero for Central Red Army among many heroes tonight. The biggest, perhaps, Tretiak, the brilliant goaltender. Shots on goal, Boston 40, Red Army.
Over the line, Gusev is after him. Hodge around the net. Now Nowak in the corner, centered it. Gibson waited too long, right in front, is shot by Gibson. But it didn't have much on it. And Tretiak was there. 26 seconds left. Right down the ice it goes. Gilbert to Dallas Smith. And the Bruins will have to hustle to get another offensive effort into operation, see if they can get another goal. That's about all that matters right now. Gibson in over the line. The Soviets break it up. Dallas Smith clearing it in. 5 seconds. Vasiliev, an outstanding performer tonight. Ahead to Mikhailov. And the game is over. Soviets 5 and the Boston Bruins 2.
There's the hero for Central Red Army among many heroes tonight. The biggest, perhaps, Tretiak, the brilliant goaltender. Shots on goal, Boston 40, Red Army 19. They congratulate each other. And the only consolation, I suppose, is there's only one Tretiak playing hockey in the Soviet Union. The other goaltenders might not be quite up to his excellence.
I wouldn't be too certain there's only one Tretiak.
Well,
keep your eyes open.
We didn't see them in Buffalo last Sunday, let's put it that way.
No, the goaltending was bad in that game, no question about it.
But you could go down the list here. Alexandrov, Harlamov, we're so familiar with him. Mikhailov, Vasiliev on defense. I thought he was just remarkably steady back there all evening and showed tremendous poise. And there are the handshakes, and now the teams leave for their respective dressing rooms, and Gilles Gilbert gets a prolonged burst of applause from these Boston Bruin fans as he leaves along with Ken Hodge, who was also very strong for the Boston Bruins tonight. So the score was 5-2, Soviet Red Army over the Boston Bruins. In just a moment, our 3-star selection.
There are many sides to the Canadian Forces. The sea is one of them.
Firm contact. Fair.
On, under, or over the sea, the Canadian Forces is a team of specialists working together, ready to meet any civilian or military call. A responsibility to be shared. A chance to travel. Something to be proud of. There's a place for you on this team, with young people who share your ideas and interests. Something you can do for a few years and be a better person for it. Get involved with the Canadian Armed Forces.
Contact your nearest Canadian Armed Forces Recruiting Center or visit your local Canada Manpower Center.
Number 3-star, Boris Alexandrov. A number 2-star, Valery Harlamov. And the number 1-star, Vladislav Tretiak.
There they are, the Islanders in Philadelphia ahead. We'll return with more on Super Series 76 in just a moment.
Hey, you coach a bunch of kids, you get to know a thing or two, right? Like, kids don't seem bothered much by headaches. Me, I get some Lulus. So, I take these. Anacin. Every tablet's got 7 grains of pain reliever. So I take 2. You know, for full adult strength. Hey, check the box. Anacin's not even recommended for children.
Anacin, adult pain reliever.
This is an Olympic lottery ticket for the 7th draw on that great day, January 25th. It's one of the hottest selling items in Canada. Just think, 3 of these alone will be worth $1 million each, and some 90,000 of them will share almost $28.5 million total prize money. Be a part of that great day. Buy your tickets now. Win $1 million cash tax-free. Make your dreams a reality.
Howie, those first 2 stars, the names of Tretiak and Harlamov are becoming household words in every hockey fan's vocabulary, but the 3rd star is a fella I saw last year at the World Junior Tournament in Winnipeg, Boris Alexandrov, and he could be better than them all.
Oh, I think so. He just made a fantastic move on the goal that he scored, but I think what's most interesting, I think Vasiliev and this kid, Alexandrov, are 2 hockey players that could be Canadians. They're just great with the stick. They show emotion. The youngster come on the ice and here's a Russian enjoyed the game. He said, hey, I'm the 3rd star. And for a 20-year-old, he just has unlimited potential.
Great goal he scored on Gilles Gilbert. He was set up, of course, in perfect position, but then the move.
Oh, watch the move. And a little earlier, he went in on Gilbert and turned him inside out, took him right out of the net and put it in front. But watch the youngster come from behind. This is what I like about him. Look, he's in position, in open ice. Now watch go from his forehand to his backhand. He eluded the poke check and just put it in like Gordie Howe and a lot of people used to.
There's several interpretations of this series, but so far Montreal has come away with a tie, and a lot of people think they should have won. Buffalo has won very easily. Still to go, the Islanders in Philadelphia, and to take those 4 teams, that's the 4 semifinalists from last year's Stanley Cup. I think if the NHL thought anything but those 4 teams and maybe anything but the 2 best were going to win, they were mistaken. We need our best. I think that's the message that we get, and at times our best isn't good enough. But to be sure of being on an even keel, we've got to have our best teams, and the Boston Bruins didn't play like the National Hockey League's best tonight.
No, for 2 periods it was a heck of an interesting hockey game. You know, we're pretty good wood choppers. We really are, and we play with, I think, terrific emotion and great dedication, but we can't control our tempers, our emotions, and this is what we have to do when the crunch comes. Unless we learn to be dedicated and control our emotions like the Russians, well, again, that's just a little advantage that they need to beat us.
That lesson is right there for us because they do such a great job of it no matter what's going on from the referee's point of view. Well, on Sunday, the series finale in our last telecast for you, Central Army meets the Philadelphia Flyers at the Spectrum. For tonight, we bid you good night for Hockey Night in Canada. Live from coast to coast on CBC, Hockey Night in Canada presents Super Series 76. Brought to you by Imperial Oil and Esso Retailers, Agents, and Distributors. The Bank of Nova Scotia, coast to coast in Canada and in 37 countries around the world. And by Ford of Canada, on behalf of your Ford and Mercury dealers, coast to coast. Hockey Night in Canada is protected by copyright, and unauthorized reproduction in whole or in part is not permitted.
This is Ed Van Impe of the Philadelphia Flyers, reminding all Super Series 76 fans that the best game of the series is on Sunday, January 11th, when we meet the Soviet champions, Red Army. All the Flyers are hoping to be watching and to be pulling for us.